I didn't mean for that to happen. That was not part of the plan, but it is what it is. So we're gonna do some reactions to make it up. Now, just to be clear, this video is based on Disney Do or Die from Clownfish TV. Disney has to bring, he's on the chopping block at this point. So what we're gonna do is do this quick video and see what's going to happen. So let's go.
And welcome back to Clownfish TV. It is me, Geeky Sparkles, and it's just me today, guys. It's Sundays with me and me alone because Neon is elsewhere. So we're gonna hang out together today for a couple videos. The first video we're gonna talk about D23 and how important D23 is gonna be to Disney. So August 9th through 11th in Anaheim is D23. Now, if Disneyland workers do go on strike, I hope they wrap it up before D23 because it's gonna look really bad for Disney if D23 comes and the attention's gonna be on the strike and not on their announcements. People are hoping they bring announcements, and I hate to agree with Inside the Magic, but I'm going to agree with Inside the Magic that if Josh D'Amaro and Bob Iger don't bring it, D23 could be Disney's last stand.
By using commands like /donation and /cash app.
They need to bring it. You can't do what Bob Iger said and try to deflect the fact that Disney's letting like Universal get ahead of them by saying, oh, all our recent things we've done.
I'm gonna redo this real quick. So this is Clownfish TV.
789. First.
Hey Glass. Okay, so we're gonna do this quick. We're gonna do 3 reaction videos. I'm gonna redo this. We're gonna do 3 reaction videos. I think I was on mute. We're gonna do 3 reaction videos of Clownfish TV. So this is Disney Do or Die. Disney has to bring it. Let's see. They have to bring it to D23.
Emmy.
So.
Hi Tia. How are you?
Hey Emmy. How are you? I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well too. We're doing reactions, so we're just gonna do only 3 since I've been late. So we're gonna knock this out. So Clownfish TV is talking about Disney. Is it do or die? Will they have announcements for D23? Will things go well? We'll see. So let's see what happens.
Hello and welcome back to Clownfish TV. It is me, Geeky Sparkles, and it's just me today, guys. It's Sundays with me and me alone because Neon is elsewhere. So we're gonna hang out together today for a couple videos. The first video we're gonna talk about D23 and how important D23 is gonna be to Disney. So August 9th through 11th in Anaheim is D23. Now, if Disneyland workers do go on strike, I hope they wrap it up before D23 because it's gonna look really bad for Disney if D23 comes and the attention's gonna be on the strike and not on their announcements. People are hoping they bring announcements, and I hate to agree with Inside the Magic, but I'm going to agree with Inside the Magic that if Josh D'Amaro and Bob Iger don't bring it, D23 could be Disney's last stand. They need to bring it. You can't do what Bob Iger said and try to deflect the fact that Disney's letting like Universal get ahead of them by saying, oh, all our recent things we've done have been, to try to combat that. Except for the fact that some of the things that were announced were done so way before Epic Universe even was announced, and even a couple years before that when they claimed that they knew, okay? They need to bring it for D23 or they're going to lose in the long run. So before we get into it any further, please like and subscribe. If you do, I'll give you a woohoo, and we're going to talk about this. Okay, so here's Inside the Magic, and they're doing the article, and they're basically saying that they're going to find itself in a difficult place at D23 this year. Disney theme parks worldwide were once considered the benchmark of excellence, and now they're being challenged at every turn. In Florida, Walt Disney World Resorts finds its dominance under fire from Universal Studios Orlando, which Epic Universe appears to be a game changer for the theme park industry. Epic Universe is going to be a huge game changer for the theme park industry. And the fact that Epic Universe isn't afraid to do Dark Universe and go there with the scary is a big deal, because Disney, it seems like they're afraid of the scary. Even if we get a Villains Land, even if we get some kind of expansion with villains involved.
Hi Teach. Bot Rick's official. Be a support hero today. By using commands like /donation and /cash app.
We already know that they're going to be more like a comical view of it. It's going to be more like, oh, what if everything goes wrong? That's not what people think of when they think of villains. But they're so afraid. I mean, they took Dr. Facilier. They wouldn't put him in the Princess and the Frog, the Tiana's Adventure ride, because they were afraid it was too scary and the voodoo's bad. And because they're so...
That's kind of crazy. I never thought of that. Like, make the villains as an attraction.
789. You were on mute.
Yeah, Norva. Afraid of offending someone. They're going to tone stuff down so much as it's going to be boring. And that's what I'm expecting with the team they currently have in place in Imagineering. Unless they're allowed to challenge people, unless they're allowed to be thrilling, unless they're allowed to bring excitement or a little bit of fear, or make things that are just fun, because they're so afraid of offending someone.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Just like, it's just kind of funny how I didn't think about that now till later, that they was thinking of doing a D23, or at least an announcement around the fact that they was going to make a villains attraction in the Disneyland world. I didn't think of that till now. That's only something they would have did probably in Fortnite, probably before even Disney would have did that. But like, when I think of it now, that actually sounds like that would make a lot of sense for those who are fans of Disney villains and stuff like that,
It's going to be more of the same, and it's not going to be good. So they go on talking about that. They're talking about how their competitors have been busy. Yeah, they said Disney's only introduced a few new underwhelming attractions: Tiana's Bio-Adventure, Communicore Plaza at Epcot, and that's just like a big empty space. And like I said, I think they're trying to keep it bare bones to use for events, so it's like a empty slate. That's great, except that you don't always have events, and you have a summer with no events. So having that place sit empty is really, really stupid. It looks bad. You shouldn't be doing it. Slap yourself. So people are waiting for concrete plans. Basically, everything's rumor at this point until we get confirmation. And what we'll get confirmation for will be during this, they're calling it the Horizons Showcase. Josh D'Amaro is going to do the future of Disney theme parks. It's going to be a panel. It's going to happen on the 10th. Yeah, here. Horizons Disney Experience Showcase. Saturday 10th at the Honda Center, so it'll be at night. And if you want to go to this, you would have had to have the tickets with the reserved seating. Otherwise, you won't get to attend. They're going to have surprise guest stars and special guests. Basically, what they do is they try to razzle-dazzle you, and then they usually smoke up your butt and then tell you that it's the best thing ever, and you're supposed to just be thrilled about everything they present. For example, that happened here. I have it on Pirates and Princesses. When we had the D23 in 2022, the announcements were just a joke. Everybody's like, "What is this?" So they had the Tiana's Bio-Adventure thing, but they took the tree off the top, and they had a model, and people were like, "Wait, what's this? This is what we were told. This is what we're getting." So we had that, and that has since opened. Then they had the Tafiti statue for the Journey of Water, which has since opened, but of course the attraction breaks down a lot. There's different parts that don't work. Disney Treasure, they're really focusing heavily on cruise ships. The World of Color was coming back. They're supposed to have, the Hulk costume character, the Mandalorian.
How to open your car door while automobiles.
And meet and greet with Grogu, those happened. They were doing things like they're bringing Figment. They made a big deal like they're going to bring Figment. They're like, "Oh guys, guess what? You're going to get something with fun, with Figment. Oh, it's exciting. They're going to fix the ride." No, it was a meet and greet, and then Figment was tripping when he came out of the tunnel. They had the Hatbox Ghost. Woo-hee. They turned Pacific Wharf into San Fran, Tokyo. All this stuff has come to pass, but it's not a big deal. And then they announced the Blue Sky art where they had somebody come on the stage. And they literally "Okay, guys, these aren't announcements, but these are blue sky ideas to get you excited. So that we did something." And they got on stage and announced this stuff, which later became the Tropical Americas expansion at Animal Kingdom. And then I love this one. Disney D23 comes to a close, hopes and dreams.
I heard
they announced that,
so
and then they had the Beyond Thunder Mountain guys, and they kind of hinted to like a Disney villains back there.
She doesn't look like Tiana.
Yes, they said that Tiana's boat ride was really ass. It's not that great. It's kind of boring, or it wasn't that exciting. They took out the villain out of it because they didn't want to offend some person or some progressive or something down the lines because it was going to upset someone. So the attraction because I think more people are more fans of the villain than they are of Tiana herself. I think, if I remember right. So it makes sense why they should kept him
Ironicai.
into the part of the
It looks
attraction.
boring.
It seems boring, as they say. I didn't really see the attraction like from the beginning to end of what it looks like, but what I've been hearing is that they took out the voodoo element out of it, and it made it a lot more boring. So like you couldn't, like they're trying to avoid the touchy subject of the voodoo thing or whatever per se.
Chernabog and stuff like that. That was their blue sky. So we're down here 2 years later, and we still haven't got anything on this other than they're supposedly doing it. All right. Last year at Destination D23, this is the announcements we got last year, and it was slightly. This is an improvement. And the 2022 announcements were better.
That's so boring.
People are like, oh, they're not.
They took it out because it was going to upset some form of progressive somewhere down the line. Because
Ironicai.
I don't even think it was going to.
If they did a View to Man boat ride finished with Mama Odie in the bayou, I think that'd be fire.
That would have been, but like they don't want to. What Disney's trying to do is tiptoe around their IP as much as possible without trying to offend anyone. They'll quietly remove things, but they won't outright say why, because they know if they do that, it's going to piss off the original fans, and then it's going to make, I guess, certain fans happy. But that's the minority compared to the majority. But they're so scared of the minority, therefore they're going to quietly remove certain things from their attractions and stuff like that.
2022 was underwhelming, and they found a way to be even more underwhelming with 2023. Their announcements were, oh, look, it's a Moana meet and greet at Journey of Water. Okay. Luminous Symphony of Us, that was one of their announcements. The Country Bear Musical Jamboree, which we got, which is this IP songs, you know, in the same right. The Pirates of the Caribbean restaurant, the Barker Bird, Hatbox Ghost is going to be unveiled. Now, remember they mentioned it the year before about the Hatbox Ghost.
At this point, makes no
and
white
then,
a
like, oh, look, but our big announcement is, oh, we're going to unveil it in November. All right. Zootopia was supposed to get a projection show on the Tree of Life. I don't even know what happened to that. And then, oh yeah, Indiana Jones is going to be put in Dinosaur, which is a long rumored change. And then we went from the blue sky art here with this, which was this thing where they were trying to tease it for Animal Kingdom, which this looks like it would have been Zootopia and stuff. This was that, and then we ended up with this. So this. With like the big waterfalls and like a big boat-looking thing, and this thing, I think it was a Zootopia train station that they got overseas. This turned into this. So we got a retheme of Dinosaur and the Canto House. It looked like a carousel, and that's what we got. Again, look at all this exciting. Look, Zootopia had all this. Nope, that. All right. Oh, and then
since we're doing
Test
reactions,
going to be turning Horizons. I have Horizons retheme. Oh, and there's the Figment for the meet and greet that they promised the year before, except the microphone looks really inappropriate. So that was all the big announcements last year for the Destination D23. And now this year we're going to have another panel, and we're going to see what big announcements we get. At this point, they're going to have to make some announcements, and they're going to have to be big announcements, and they're going to have to be ones that can be done within a time frame that's shorter than like 7 years, like it's taken them for everything else. If they're going to compete, they're going to have to pull their heads out of their collective arseholes and actually have to go and try. So there's what they're expecting. What we know is we're getting a test track, retheme. And I'm expecting, because it's Horizons, we're going to hear more about that. We know we're getting the Central Americas, which is going to be like an Encanto thing. And, they're turning Dino Land into Indiana Jones. We know that.
That's what you're asking.
We know they're doing a Beyond Big Thunder Mountain. The people that did Tiana's Bayou Snorefest are going to go work on this. We know we're getting Disneyland Forward. And we know there's an Avatar Land because they mentioned it. But that's all we know. So what we've had rumored was that Radiator Springs Racers from Disney California Adventure was coming to the Magic Kingdom. And the response was meh. And I agree. It fits because it's the same, Beyond Thunder Mountain would be that same desert area. But it's just a clone, again. And it wouldn't be the entire thing. It would just be the one ride.
It makes sense if they use the
Because I don't think they have room for the entire thing if they're going to fit other stuff back there. And some people are saying they don't think that's going to happen. I honestly don't know yes or no what's going to happen. Yeah. I have no inside information. I'm just telling you what people are saying. That was one of the rumored things. A lot of sense. I am hearing, depending who you ask, that Villain's Land will not be added to Magic Kingdom, nor will it be a fifth gate. I don't know if Disney has the money for the fifth gate. I don't know what's going to happen there. We're going to have to wait and see. But people overwhelmingly were like, about Radiator Springs Racers because it's a clone. Can we just get some new stuff? They said, yeah, the ride's excellent. It's okay, but it's basically a test track. But fans are looking for something new. Right, exactly. And they want villains.
Hello, random.
Universal Orlando is bringing Epic Universe with a dark universe. And people wanted Disney Villains Land. And somebody, they're going to copy Universal. Who cares? I agree. I'd love to see a Villains Land. But depending on who you ask, I'm not sure if we're going to even get that. And then what I'm hearing from people, if we do get it, is it was going to be, it wasn't going to be like a scary type situation. It was going to be more like, a world, things gone upside down. It's like, quirky. And that's not Villains. People want a Disney version, at least a somewhat scary version.
No, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. What they're going to do is they're going to take the movie villains and make them sympathetic and seem like they're heroes. They're not going to make the villains into a villain. You can't do that anymore in Western society. Everyone is either misunderstood or an anti-hero. That's our two things. That's what they do with villains now. You have to sympathize with the villain. You can't have the classical "I'm just evil for the sake of evil" or "I'm evil for a very specific reason and I was traumatized and this and I will not jump off that high horse." No, every villain has to be sympathetic to the audience, and that's the problem, because that's why Peter Pan didn't do well. This is probably why even the only sympathetic villain that actually did really well in this specific scenario was Maleficent, but she was the first live action Disney villain that went on that trend when it first came out. It worked for her because she was the first. But when after we did Peter Pan, what do you call it? What's the Dalmatian woman? Cruella de Vil, and then I think they did the same thing in Aladdin. And the other movie, what do you call it?
Frick that, gimme that View guy, I want him back. Sad face.
So every villain that you come across is a sympathetic individual who happens to be a hero. Cruella de Vil, there we go. And Ariel, what's her name? Ursula. You know what I'm saying? They have to make every Disney villain into a sympathetic character that you have to like, or you have to sympathize to a certain extent for you to feel as if they're not the villain, but just a misunderstood individual. That's the problem.
789.
Once you have that,
you missed the R.
Once you have that, you don't have a villain anymore. You just have an anti-hero who's misunderstood. That's it. You can't have the classic heroes for them. Villains for them being evil for the sake of just being evil or being evil. Yes, they had a legitimate reason, but they won't jump off it. They either get forgiven or they don't get killed off like they did in the movies. Not in the way they should, but they get more of a mercy killing or that of a forgiving, or they get forgived in some way. So that's the problem.
They need a villain land, and during their Boo Fest they can up the spooky factor when the villains take over the park, or have an adult event on certain days where the villains invite you to join them.
No, that would work. I'm not saying that wouldn't work. But what I'm saying is like what you're saying is true. That will work. But the problem is that because the movies are out now, and every movie has come out with them being some type of sympathetic character, you can't make them scary. Because that
I eat glass point 789
goes against everything that they.
I'm replacing Disney Imma, make a better version.
Yeah, but like this is why people love Kingdom Hearts, because Kingdom Hearts jumps on to that very same bandwagon of what the Disney villains were, right? That was the actually selling point of Kingdom Hearts. It was other than the Final Fantasy aspect, but mainly it was the Disney IPs, right? So because the Disney IPs exist, that what made a lot of Westerners want to watch or play the game. Alongside those who like Final Fantasy, not saying there was no Final Fantasy fans, especially when you saw Cloud in the first trailer in the very first game, way back in the early 2002. That blew a lot of people's minds. Like, you saw a Disney, like, it was a Disney game with Disney characters, and you saw at least one or two Final Fantasy characters in that game, and you're like, oh crap, right? So that what made a lot of people just real super curious, even morbidly curious on what this game was, right? And it meshed well with the villains and how you get into each world and stuff, and then each villain was represented exactly how they were in the movies. Now, 20 plus years later, these villains they're not even those things anymore. What you're getting is a Netflix super progressive version of what they are, and they're not what they are. So you're not going to get the villains that you're going to get. Even if they even dress up as somewhat of those characters, they're going to be represented in a way of today's world. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, but the slight workaround to that was doing the villain's journey prior to being saved to defeated.
Yeah.
So it's not super scary like horror, but it gives the villain's backstory.
No. I get that. It's not supposed to be like scary, like a horror thing, right? They're villains, right? The villains are supposed to give an intimidation factor, right?
Ironikai.
But
how the villains were invented to be.
Yeah, but that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? That's literally the issue. The only villain that you can say that's at Disney that still kind of looks the same is Darth Vader. Darth Vader is the only original looking character who's still like a villain in that sense. Every other villain at this point is updated for modern audiences, right? The audience that don't exist, right? And because they don't exist, no one's going to be happy what you're going to get. In my experience, I do not think if they do make a villain's land in Disney, it's not going to be what we think it's going to be. They're going to update them in a way that they might. I'm not saying they would, because they need to make money. So if they're smart, they would stick with their original designs and just keep it that way, right? But if they're stupid, they'll go down the modern audience route, and hopefully I'm wrong, and they just go down the classic route and how they look. Because what Disney did a couple, like, it was like 6-7 months ago, probably a year ago,
what is the drawing?
When we're doing skin studies. The point is when they did their anniversary thing, you notice that they didn't go with the updated versions of their Disney characters when they did the animated anniversary thing from last year. I think it was last year, or it was this year. I think it was last year. They went with the classic Disney characters from the Aristocrats all the way to Moana, right? All the Disney classics to the most updated, popular looking versions of who they were, right? They didn't go with 3D versions. They didn't go with the movie version that they created. So I'm hoping if they have some brains, they'll go back to the drawing board and stick with what works. Stay with the classics. So I'm not saying that they're going to do this. The likelihood they will.
I think because they want to get the newer gen and keep the older gen BC, that's their money. And if they'll try to mesh the aesthetic of the original look so they still have a classic hearted aspect, but Ironikai. Modern clothing styles.
Well, let's hope, like, if they're gonna update them to a certain extent with the modern stuff, I hope it's not too modern that you can't recognize them, right? They can still keep their personality traits. I hope they do, because that'll be great, right? If they update how they look, it's not a loss, because it's just like, they're just updated, right? But if they're going down the route, if there's being a certain specific way that people are not going to, be attracted to, that's a loss in itself. So that's just a big loss. So, it is what it is, though.
Of Disney villains. I don't know if we're going to get it or not. It was definitely in the blue sky artwork here. back here, like a Chernobog. You can see Chernobog here, and then like looks like, you know, Disney castles and villains. But I don't know if that's what we're gonna get. I'm hearing we're going to focus more on like Coco and that kind of stuff. I don't think we're going to get. I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping we get it, but I'm worried about what they'll do if we do get it. Let's put it that way.
That's
Disney
what I'm
Hollywood
saying.
Studios are talking about the Galactic Star Cruiser, that maybe we'll get an announcement about something there. People are also talking about another phase of Galaxy's Edge. I don't know what we're going to hear, but there are people talking about it. Like, is there another phase? They're going to add some more stuff. And if they do, it's going to be Disney Star Wars, and it's going to suck. We're going to have an Acolyte Land? Are we going to have a bunch of witches saying the power of one, the power of two, the power of many?
I hope
Someone's
not.
going to turn into a dust cloud and get stabbed? We're going to get lightsabers to change color? I mean, it's just going to be more of the same, and they're going to pick the stuff no one likes, and they're going to double, triple down on that because they're dumbasses. Animal Kingdom, we already
Disney
know,
has
was the
messed up
Tropical
before, but
Americas. I don't know what's going to happen with
much
that.
money in a land and
Epcot,
give
we'll probably
culture
hear more.
shock to popular classic characters.
Oh, you don't.
Maybe newer ones they'd push it, but I doubt classics.
Don't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past these people. They don't have. Listen, this is not Walt Disney we're talking about. These are people who have his company, right? This is why I wanted to. This is why I did this video first, to segue ourselves into the next video, because it's about Dragon Ball, and Dragon Ball is in a little bit of trouble, business wise. And we're going to listen to that. Why? This is why when people ask me the question, are you going to do a manga? Are you going to do an anime? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? Are you ever going to do a webtoon and stuff? I'm very hesitant to say yes, and I'm very hesitant to say no, because if I were to write an anime or you know what? I'm not even getting into it. When we get to that part, I'll mention it. But let this play. I don't want to be too long.
About the test track with Horizons, because the event's called Horizons, so I'm sure that's what we're going to hear.
I don't know if you've ever used the See a Floor in Your Room feature on EmpireToday.com, but if you haven't, got to check it out. It is so cool. And the best part is, I knew the number to call, and I'm pretty sure you do too.
They're too scared to lose more than they already are. If they lose millennials, they know they're done for and that they'd be mad.
No, they lost millennials. We did the video on that a long time ago. They lost millennials a long time ago. Kids are not watching Disney. Actually, kids are more into Universal. They're into Mario. They're into more of those other IPs than they are into Disney. They're not going to Disney like that, because, like, I'm not saying kids are not fans of Disney, but I'm saying there's more kids into Universal with Mario and other attractions than that of Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse is not cool with kids anymore because Mickey Mouse has shot himself in the foot. That's why boys. I don't even think boys are into, like. I'm not saying boys are not, but I don't think boys of today are into Marvel as they used to be several years ago, because of the choices they made and the wokeism that they went with, and it's not working. You made technically a boys brand into a girls brand. Into a girls brand or a Lifetime brand. That's the problem. Once you make something that was originally for boys, of masculine descent, into a female brand, it does not work. This is why the girl boss thing is not working in Disney, in Marvel. This is why they're getting a visceral reaction.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying I doubt Disney go that far, because they know that type of change would crush them with the classic villains.
Well, let's see. I hope you're wrong. I hope you're right.
Disneyland, they're talking about Disneyland Forward. We do know that the Hungry Bear restaurant, they're making a Country Bear themed restaurant there because they don't have the attraction anymore. So they're probably gonna have rides and attractions. I think we're gonna probably get more about Disneyland Forward than we're gonna get about anything else, because they've really been pushing for that, and they just got permission to do so. They said that they think the chances of a fifth gate at Central Florida seem slim, but you never know. I agree. I don't think they have the money for a fifth gate and all the other things they're doing, because we're like $60 billion, but over 10 years, guys, and over all the parks and the Disney Cruise Lines. So that breaks down to, $6 billion a year for 10 years. Part of that money they admitted was going to be upkeep and, working on the stuff that they already budgeted for that, fixing things. So that already takes a hunk of it. So there's not a whole lot left for new stuff. And then they're spreading it across the entire globe and Disney Cruise Lines. Disney Cruise Lines are adding new ships. They're buying up islands. They're going to put new different ports in different places. So that's going to take up a big hunk of it because they get a lot of money for people to go on the cruise ship. I don't know if they're going to have the money to do another. I think they need another land. I think they need a fifth gate if they're going to compete, but that doesn't mean they're going to have the money or they're going to do it. I'm hoping they announce a fifth gate. I'm hoping it's good, but I'm not holding my breath. And again, it depends who you ask. I've seen people with inside quote unquote knowledge say, yes, we're getting a fifth gate. Other people saying, no, we're not getting a fifth gate. I keep seeing people saying, yes, we're getting villains. Other people saying, no, we're not getting villains. That's been scrapped. So we won't know until they tell us at this point. Basically, you have to wait and see. But they're running into a problem, and that's all ears is saying that nobody's going to Disney World this summer.
I'd love to see
but
a
the wait
space
times
where
prove
Descendant
it.
territory
And we're hearing it again and again how the wait times
or
are
princesses
really...
and go modern with them, and it's geared to the newer generation / teens.
Or what they can do if they want.
WTF happened to the voice?
It's still there. It's still there. Is the thing off? I don't think it's off. Hold on. Voices. Okay, there's voices. Oh god, jeez. Okay. TikTok voice. Oh, there it is. There we go. And then restream. Restream's in this thing. Okay. Just making sure it's there. All right, let's go.
Low, and I don't think it's because they're lightning landing where people were paying. These are the wait times. Now in the morning, Magic Kingdom, it's not going to be very heavy because usually the first hour or two you get away with lower wait times, except for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train because everybody goes there first, right? So you go a couple hours later to noon, and Winnie the Pooh's 40 minutes, Haunted Mansion's 40 minutes, Jungle Cruise is 35 minutes. These sound like long waits, but they really are not. Space Mountain 40 minutes, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train 50 minutes. These are not long waits for these attractions. As the day goes on, some of the wait times go up, but still 55 minutes for Seven Dwarfs is actually really low. It's really low. So we keep going down. Let's go down to let's see another day. Epcot. Let's go check Epcot. We'll go a couple hours in. When you go in the morning, you're not going to have long wait time except for Remy's. But as you go on for the day, the wait times go up. Remy's goes down, 55 minutes. Mission Space, 20 minutes. Spaceship Earth, 25 minutes. Frozen, 50 minutes. You're going to see these two are the longest wait times usually. And we also lost Test Track. So that's 10 people to other attractions. But you're not seeing 40 minutes for Remy's at 1, 45 for Frozen. I mean, you're not seeing Soarin' on here. But again, it's 10 minutes.
At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot, we charge you a little.
For I've seen the Grand Fiesta Tour would be half an hour. 45 minutes for Frozen, 65 minutes for Remy. So this is actually pretty good. I mean, as far as those wait times go. Animal Kingdom, Flight of Passage, 70 minutes when it first opens in the morning. It's going to be like that usually. You go a few hours later, 1 o'clock. Navi River, 75 minutes. Flight of Passage, this is about average. 95 minutes, 75 minutes, that's about normal. Kilimanjaro Safari, 60 minutes. Kali River, 60 minutes. These actually seem pretty normal to me at Animal Kingdom. Flight of Passage, 70 minutes. Kali River, 75. Expedition Everest, down 55 minutes at 6. These are actually pretty about right as what I've seen at Animal Kingdom. Hollywood Studios, 9 a.m. The longest thing is probably going to be Rise of Resistance, 30 minutes, or Slinky Dog, which is 20 minutes. If you're not into Star Wars, my recommendation is go to Toy Story Land first. If you're into Star Wars, obviously go there first. 2 o'clock, Falcon Smugglers Run, 50 minutes. Rise of Resistance, 45 minutes. Slinky Dog, 75, that's about right. Toy Story Mania, 75, that's about right. Tower of Terror, 80 minutes? Why? Let's go down to 6. Rise of Resistance, 45, that's pretty low. Tower of Terror, 45. Rock and Roller Coaster has higher weight. So from this, you can see kind of where you want to hit at what time of day. I recommend studying the way the crowds move. It'll help you if you don't want to pay for Genie Plus. But, some of them are seeming pretty average, but a lot of the wait times are actually low. It seems like Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom are still staying about average, but Epcot and Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom are going down, it seems to me, based on that. So you have an issue with people not going to the parks. And we know that admitted attendance has been down, but the price per person, what they're spending per person has gone up because
I think for a family of 4 or 3, I think a family of 3 or 4, you're gonna be dropping like 10 grand or something. They said. I don't know how true that is, but I think that was a pretty astronomical number. But it is, times are tough, and I'm not that surprised. You're gonna be dropping almost like, I think 5 to 10 grand. But I believe it was 10 grand that was the highest. That's crazy.
Because they keep nickel and diming you, and they keep making these things fluctuate and making it so you have to buy. Now it's like lightning lane now, or individual lightning lane passes to actually get on these attractions. Some of these attractions, if you don't get like Tron or Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, if you don't get a virtual queue, even though people are telling me that the virtual queues are still being available way after the fact, they open twice a day. And usually they were gone within like a couple minutes, sometimes seconds. And some of these attractions are still available, way past that time frame, because people just aren't there to grab them up. And if you don't want that, you just pay for your lightning lane and pay like $50 for your whole family to make sure they get on it, which is so stupid after you pay for everything else.
Especially if you go
but that's what they're doing. Because
that doesn't include hotel and park food and extra stew 5.
Yeah, that does not include going to the hotel. You're not wrong. If you're not going to the hotel, you're still gonna be dropping a good grand. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. Like you're not. I'm not even. I should have said that. I should have never even mentioned. I didn't even mention like hotels. If you're just staying for 3 days or something, it's a lot of money just going on the one day. It's a lot. You're dropping a lot of money. And then what's worse, you have to go on those stupid rides, and those rides take forever. And then what they do is nickel and dime you. They kind of battle pass you, like in video games, where if you want to get in the front of the line, you have to take the faster. You have to go on the what do you call it? The fast ticket, whatever they call it. They make you go on the line faster. So what they're trying to do is show the haves and have-nots. So like getting to things is very expensive. Then you're like kind of broke at that sense, being just getting to Disney, right? And going on the basic rides, you have to stand there in the sun for God knows when with 1,000 other people in front of you. But if you have money, you go to Disney and you buy the battle pass, or a case may be, or I think they refer to it as the something pass, and you can get there faster.
They have discount hotels, but again, hard to get. BC, not everyone can afford a Disney hotel or motel, plus paying for parking depending where you go.
That too. It's wild.
The crowd.
And remember, most people, I don't know most, but like I'm pretty sure most of those people who are going to Disney is not from the residents. I believe you get a certain discount for being I think if you live in Disney, live in Orlando in that area, I think you get certain discounts.
If you drive or fly, sheesh, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you drive or fly, it's a lot just getting there, right? But like if you're a resident, I think you get a form of discount. I don't know how that works. I don't know if they still do that since the whole Reedy Creek problem. It's you're sacrificing an arm and leg.
Price, I believe.
Oh yes, definitely.
Residential discount.
And I think it's even more when you wait too long. Like, so if they're having like a Christmas sale or a certain summer sale or something, and you wait too long to jump on those sales, they skyrocket almost instantly. So they kind of, it's first come, first serve. The earliest, the better. But then again, you're still paying a lot of money.
Are down. So they're really going to have to bring some big announcements to compete with Epic Universe. I am seeing more and more people cancel their annual passes. I'm seeing more and more people talk about how they aren't going to Disney. And they are going to make a trip next year, but it's going to be to Epic Universe.
If the reservation or
and Disney's going to have to win people back.
Minute,
and to do that, they're going to have to deliver. And they're going to have to deliver better than Communicore Hall. And the Communicore the World.
Oh yeah,
whatever.
That's true. That's true. You can always get in bundles, but like, our slot opens up in the last minute, but not guaranteed. Yeah, and then God forbid, like something happens within the time before that happens. Like you're going on a trip and you plan that out like a couple of months, and some bullshit happens, you have to cancel.
Ship global network, whatever it is called, Gardens.
I doubt you have to pay a fee if you have to cancel those things.
Can't remember top of my head because they keep changing it all. But whatever the Gardens is, it looks like a vagina. That's not a big enough attraction. A new meet and greet is not a big enough damn attraction. You know, you're gonna have to bring it, and you're gonna have to do it in a time frame that's not like, oh, sometime within the next 10 years we might build something new. It shouldn't take you 7 years to build something. And even the pandemic was in there. That was only like a year you were down, not even that, at Orlando. Shouldn't still taking you that long to get stuff open.
She's not wrong.
But I digress. Anyway, what do you think? What do you think announcements are going to be out there? There's all kinds of, you know, really wild ideas. I saw somebody saying that they think they're going to bring the Play Pavilion back, but they're going to tie
back
it
in
to
the
Epic
day
Games
prices.
somehow.
I know this is the funniest thing. This is why you should always appreciate how things are now than they are in the future, because I'm pretty sure our parents back in the day, I'm pretty sure those of us who went to Disney World as a kid, I'm pretty sure looking at the prices.
Last point 789. She didn't say loudly crying face. Artextric. Depending on the event, it's normally the height costing ones. There's a fee if you cancel, but not if Disney has to cancel.
Depending on the event, it's normally the height cost. There's no fee if you cancel, but it's not Disney has to cancel. Okay, I got you. Because, like, you know, I got you. But, like, the thing is, what's funny is, like, we have to look back at for those of us who went to Disney World as a kid, like 20 years ago or so, or at least less than 20 years ago, at least 15, 20 years ago or so, you gotta look back and look at the prices our parents was paying and be like, damn, like they thought the price they was paying was insane. You know what I'm saying? Back in in the 90s or early 2000s, they thought they was paying some crazy ass numbers back then. Bet they wish those numbers was back now. Like, shit.
But I can see them trying to get Epic Games to sponsor the Play Pavilion and then tie it into things that they're going to put in the Epic Games, you know, partnership with Disney. That actually wasn't a bad idea. I'm kind of curious if that happens. I don't know anything. I don't have any insider information. But what do you think is going to get announced? Do you think they're going to do another gate? Do you think they're going to bring villains in? Do you think they're going to ruin everything? Do you think they're going to drop the ball? Do you think they're going to succeed? What do you think? Comment and let us know, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Alright, so that was Clownfish on the whole Disney do or die thing. So let's hope that Disney does something at D23 with some announcements that can save them. Listen, I don't hate Disney. For those of you who are listening or watch my videos and stuff like that, I do jump on these videos and react to them and give my opinion in 2 cents. They don't really mean much of anything because I'm not making any difference in the world, but I'm just saying, I don't hate Disney. I miss Disney. I miss how Disney used to be, how it was just for families and just for kids. Now it's just like, I wish I can just take my kids one day to like Disney, not hoping or worrying about any wokeism or it's just stupidness that they're trying to pull, whether it be money-wise or just propaganda or whatever the case may be. But we don't live in those times anymore. Things are different. So like, I'm just hoping that Bob Iger and these people get their shit together and fix this problem. But then again, Bob Iger can do so much. You gotta put in this perspective. All this is run based on BlackRock, Blackstone, or Vanguard and Larry Fink. This is all they're doing to this certain extent. All these shareholders and all this stuff having this power and all these stupid policies. That's what's actually killing majority of all these companies anyway. But it seems like there's these companies. I wouldn't say they're fighting back, but it seems like most of these companies are realizing that this whole DEI, ESG, whatever governance thing is such a poison to their businesses that they're starting to realize this is not working. We have to either go back to how things were, or we have to literally cow down to the nonsense and stop this now. But hey, it is what it is. If you want to stay in that woke ideology, is fine, and if you want not make money, that's fine too. It's capitalism at its finest, as most of them hate capitalism, but also use it at the same time. So it is what it is. So I'll see you. So with that said, I like, subscribe, share, follow, and comment. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Laters. Alright, so we're going to go on our next video. This one was I was referring to with the whole Dragon Ball thing. Now this is a Demion. He's talking about what's going on with Dragon Ball and the future of Dragon Ball since Akira Toriyama has passed away. So with Akira Toriyama's passing, there was, I'm pretty sure, a lot of people who or the companies and his family and everyone else was kind of wondering of his estate when it comes to like Dragon Ball and how he put things in writing or whatever the case may be. Well, there's some issues going on, so we're going to hear about that and give our 2 cents. Now, there's one thing why I don't ever try to jump on the bandwagon of making a webtoon or a comic book or an anime or whatever the case may be. Because if your anime book or your IP becomes somewhat popular or actually becomes something, what's going to happen is that one day when you pass away or something happens to you, people who don't have the best interests of your franchise, because when you think about it, making and I said this I think several months ago, making a IP is like making an immortal child, right? You're the parent of that immortal child, right? And what that means is that child's going to outlive you, especially if that particular child is a popular thing that became something, right? So what's going to happen is when you pass away, people who don't have the best interests or don't have the best ideas for your franchise will ruin it. Not even on purpose, just because they just don't have the same vision as you. And that's just the sad truth of whenever you create a very popular IP. It's going to slip out of your hands eventually, whether through death or just out of like poor business decisions, right? So that's what's going to happen here, no matter what. So that's why I'm very hesitant to do one, because if I ever made one, I don't want people using my characters to say things that I know they wouldn't say if I were to make one. That's the scary part about it. Now, I know some of you are going to say, but if you have someone that you trust to...
This is what happens when I step out for a second, loudly crying face.
And this is, I get why people say, but you can always have a successor. That's true. And this is why we're getting to this and hear why sometimes even having a successor may not be all that of a good thing, but it is an insurance policy, best yet kept, if anything. But, you know, that's only up to how well versed that person is, or at least how well versed you have everything in writing. Like, let's look at someone like J.K. Rowling. Is no much as people may hate this woman for whatever reasons they have, she's eventually going to lose Harry Potter one way through death or by bad business choices. Well, it seems like she's a very smart businesswoman, so I don't think business is going to be the downfall of Harry Potter's. They're just waiting for this woman to croak or go down a flight of stairs one day. So, like, that's what they're hoping for, especially these activists. It is what it is. So this is what I'm saying. So let's hear it from Endymion and hear what's going to happen with Dragon Ball and Akira Toriyama's creation.
Everyone, it's Endymion. I have some news surrounding Dragon Ball and the IP's future that not nearly enough people are talking about, nor do they even know what's happening behind the scenes, so I need to get more eyes on this story. Beyond this, we'll also talk about how Japan is apparently gearing up to nuke Ubisoft from orbit over Assassin's Creed Shadows and that whole Yasuke situation. But first, Dragon Ball, because this is crazy. As we all know, unfortunately, Akira Toriyama passed away, who created Dragon Ball and the amazing world that we all know and love. Not to mention his work spans so much it's incredible. I mean, besides the Sandland series, Toriyama had his influences on peak series like Dragon Quest for years with his art style. Not to mention being involved with what is arguably one of the greatest games of all time in the form of Chrono Trigger. God, I love that game so much. The world lost a visionary creator when Akira Toriyama passed, and that cannot be understated or denied whatsoever. He was in all ways the GOAT, and the world is better for his work and his passion. Since his passing, however, there has been a legal battle behind the scenes that has been going on over who exactly owns the rights to Dragon Ball and its many spin-off games and so on. This leads me to an article from a Japanese magazine called Weekly Toyo Kazai. And this article was translated by a Twitter user named Supa Chronicles. I'll put their Twitter on screen here if you'd like to follow them, since they cover many things Dragon Ball related and more. Okay, so what the hell is happening exactly behind the scenes? To set things up, there's 3 key players in this whole nasty situation. Obviously, you have Akira Toriyama, and since he passed away, his family is now the stewards of Dragon Ball in a sense. Secondly is Shueisha, which is the largest Japanese publication company that handles many films based on mangas, animes, games, and more. Pretty much for most of Dragon Ball's existence, Shueisha has been involved with distributing Dragon Ball as an IP around the world. And finally, we have Akio Iyoku, who has been the guardian of Dragon Ball, so to speak, for many years at this point. Akira Toriyama personally chose Iyoku to be his personal steward, or guardian I guess you could say, for Dragon Ball if Toriyama were to pass away. Which means that Dragon Ball's creator had put all of his faith and future into the hands of Iyoku, and Iyoku has protected Dragon Ball ever since. So what's the problem, you may be asking? Well, since Toriyama passed away now, Shueisha is trying to go full steam ahead and basically use the Dragon Ball IP to monetize as much content as humanly possible in order to make as much money as they can. Which is obviously what a corporation is meant to do, I get that, making money is important, big shocker. However, Iyoku believes, according to this article that I'll read more of shortly, that Shueisha is bastardizing and ruining the legacy of Toriyama by turning Dragon Ball into a content-churning machine. And what they have plans for...
And that's my problem right there. They want to take your IP that wasn't for what it was supposed to be. Well, it's there to make money. I'm not saying it's not made to make money. But the fact that the IP is there and they're trying to make it into I want to say the word Genshin, but like try to make it into like a money train. Like the problem with most of these people is that these business people, they look at like analytics and stuff, but they don't look at the fandom. So they look at the numbers, right? And they they go by, okay, it's popular just name alone. So if we just slap on a cereal, that's good enough. That's what I'm saying. Not any cereal, I'm just saying in general. They'll just slap it on some cereal and then call it a day and say, it'll sell. That's why a lot of IPs of today don't work, because business people who don't understand the fandom of whatever that IP is just slap it on something and call it a day, and then or make a bunch of changes because they believe that name alone will just help the brand in general, and it'll just make hotcakes. It does not work like that. If it might work back in those days where there was no internet, but it's not gonna work. So like, say like in the early 2000s, if you took like an IP that people recognize, like Dragon Ball, and slap it on like, I don't know, Kellogg's, I don't know, cinnamon toast crunch with a Dragon Ball, I don't know, toy or something that's in the box, kids will pick it up because they know Dragon Ball. So that's going to make money. But because the internet exists, and then we can get like leaks and stuff like that, people are more wise to this.
Cinnamon, LOL.
Cinnamon. Can't talk today. Hey Daniel, what's going on, bro? So that's why Dragon Ball is in trouble, or any IP is in trouble, because they just look at it for just name alone, and then they just run with it. That's it.
According to Iyoku, is not what Toriyama
I'm
wanted
just
to
commenting on the fact that
and if
you have
Shueisha
done
and its
so
investors
much
get
of
their
this,
way,
I'm like,
Dragon
dang,
Ball as an
I
IP
should
and the legacy of
commit.
its
Yeah,
creator
it's my job,
would
so
be
it's what I
mined
do.
and desecrated
Trying
in
to be a
order to
character
make as
designer,
much
so I'm
money
trying to
as
get good at
possible while
doing
diluting
skin.
the brand. It's
I already know
disingenuous,
how
of
to make
course,
weapons
since prior
and
to
stuff like
Toriyama
that.
dying,
It's just
Shueisha
something with
upheld
skin
their side
really
of the
throws me
bargain.
off, so I'm
They
forcing
couldn't
myself to do it like I
technically
did with
do
hands.
anything that they wanted
It's
to
getting
do without
easier, but
Toriyama's blessing, since obviously he was the creator and had final say. But now that he's gone, it leaves the IP in a very similar situation to many other creatives whose works have in various ways been ruined as well. Although he didn't own it, Stan Lee made the Marvel Universe with Jack Kirby. That cannot be debated. And we saw when Stan died, which was around the time of Avengers Endgame coming out, suddenly the Marvel Universe, from games, movies, comics, and more, which were already in varying levels of quality, they all suddenly took a nosedive. And a splurging of content was made, which was the definition of quantity over quality. Just look at how much content Disney released Marvel related in 2021 alone. I'll put it on screen because it's ridiculous. Like, look how much slop came out. Some of these things say 2020, but they actually came out in 2021 as well, besides a few. Like, it's so much content. The point I'm trying to make here is that there seems to be a suspicious shift in content moderation and what gets made prior to the creator of said IP being alive and then when they die. So what is happening here with Dragon Ball, I want you to look at it sort of how Disney did Marvel once Stan Lee died. But even more egregious and greedy, if that's even possible. I want to read you this entire article because all of it is important. It's story time, fellas, so kick your feet up. Let me read you a bedtime story, and I quote. Since its serialization began in 1984, Dragon Ball has remained a highly lucrative IP that continues to captivate people. According to the app research company Sensor Tower, the 2 Dragon Ball mobile games, including Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, which began distribution in 2015, has surpassed a worldwide total revenue of 5 billion yen or $31.7 million USD by February 2024. The movie Dragon Ball Super Superhero released in 2022 and achieved a global box office revenue of 13 billion yen, or $82.5 million American. In Saudi Arabia, a theme park of comparable size to Tokyo Disneyland is also set to be constructed. In March, the original author Akira Toriyama passed away, much to the regret of many. However, the momentum of Dragon Ball shows no signs of slowing down and continues to accelerate worldwide. Regarding its appeal, those involved unanimously agree it's the simplicity. When we analyzed why the games became hits in North America, it seemed that the straightforwardness.
One of the biggest sales ever. 30 beef sticks for just $30. Try for $1 each. 6 grams of protein.
Of let's fight to see who is the strongest, which can be enjoyed without much thought, resonated with people, said an insider from Bandai Namco Group. Major uproar due to a person in charge going independent. Last year, there was an incident that caused an uproar in the business over this work. In May 2023, Ioku, former head of Shueisha's Dragon Ball Room, went independent with several subordinates and established a new company, Capsule Corporation Tokyo, named after a fictional company that appears in the series, with the aim of managing creative activities and handling intellectual property rights. Mr. Ioku became the head of the Dragon Ball Room in 2016 after serving as editor-in-chief of V-Jump. A Shueisha insider recalls, without consulting his superiors, Mr. Ioku unilaterally decided to make a film adaptation of Toriyama-sensei's Sandland. He always focused on serving the author, for better or worse. At the same time, there was criticism from anime production companies and TV networks that he had a condescending attitude. In addition to these evaluations, progress was lacking in collaborations with the metaverse and AI that the higher-ups were anticipating. As a result, in 2022, he was reassigned to a new business department. This unwelcome transfer became the trigger, and within a year, Ioku went independent. Taking over the role of Toriyama's spokesperson on behalf of Shueisha, Ioku's actions raised the risk of Shueisha losing its Dragon Ball rights. Toriyama Sensei was also dissatisfied with Ioku being removed, as he trusted him the most. Chairman Maru Horichi of Shueisha even went directly to Toriyama's residence in Aichi Prefecture, but he couldn't persuade him to stay. Said the aforementioned Shueisha insider, this put Bandai Namco, which had been making a fortune with games like Dokkan Battle, in a difficult position. Ioku, who was Toriyama Sensei's spokesperson, became independent, but the rights to the manga were managed by Shueisha. It was unclear who to consult regarding matters related to the original work. Meetings about Dragon Ball were organized very vaguely, with all relevant parties being invited, which subtly included both Ioku and Shueisha representatives, making the coordination extremely stressful, said the aforementioned Bandai Namco insider. Toriyama's passing occurred amidst this battle over rights. The discussion continued without the original author, and the disputes have been ongoing and still remained unresolved, noted a Shueisha employee. Some industry executives are looking towards a resolution that involves the family, saying it depends on how the family feels about it. The question remains who will ultimately take the lead in managing this massive IP. The future of the bogged down battle, which is not befitting a shonen manga, remains unclear, end quote. So as you can see, Dragon Ball as an IP is currently in a bloodthirsty battle between a mega corporation that is hungry to take Dragon Ball and monetize the ever-living bejesus out of it in every conceivable way to make as much money as possible. On the other hand, you have Ioku, who now runs a group called Capsule Corporation Tokyo, who, as the article stated, was founded just within the past year, with Ioku and several individuals who worked beneath him while he was working at Shueisha. And it became very clear very quickly that once Toriyama passed, Shueisha attempted to...
What's the point there?
Silver Comet. And if they do, the cartel will come running.
The cartel will come running. you know they will come after them. But these companies don't care. What they want to do is they want to appease their shareholders and make money. This is why I'm kind of afraid that the idea of Blackstone buying anything manga related.
Also, hello everyone, I have been here for a while.
Okay, what up, Silver? But to respond to what you said, this is why I'm kind of afraid that now the West is trying to expand more into manga.
Sounds like Disney.
With Blackstone trying to get into the manga scene now, because I think they realize, oh shit, these people are making mad money. We want some of that manga pie, right? Given how we did things with the West, well, it's not going well. But then again, manga looks like it's kind of needs it needs to be infiltrated in some form. So we'll start off small, and then we'll start. That's how they do it. They start off small by buying like one or two little companies, and then when they get their foot in the ground with some shareholders, and because they have more money and backing, they go after more.
Everyone, let's become manga dealers.
Yep, everyone, let's become manga dealers.
To undermine and sideswipe Iyoku by moving him to another department within the company. This is clearly only being done in order to move Iyoku away from Dragon Ball so Shueisha could place their own yes men in Iyoku's place to steer the ship in their direction. But now that Iyoku runs Capsule Corp, it's clear that his mission is to protect and manage Dragon Ball as an IP, no matter the cost to his own reputation or well-being. This Iyoku guy is the definition of the realest friend someone could have. The dude has made it his life's goal to protect his friend Akira Toriyama's work from greedy executives. But it's also shady that Shueisha, knowing that Toriyama placed the handling of rights and distributions with that of Iyoku, are now trying to sideswipe him yet again by going directly to Toriyama's family. Because like I said originally, since Toriyama has passed away, the rights in a way fall within his estate in a way too. It's sort of like with Lord of the Rings and how technically, even though Amazon owns the right to make stuff like Rings of Power, Tolkien's estate needs to sign off on things in order to allow them to happen. And of course, as we all know, when it comes to money, greed is very quickly to follow behind it. So when people looked at Rings of Power and went, well, why would Tolkien's estate allow such slop to exist? The answer is simple. It's money. It's always money.
It's always been money. That's all it's all about. It's all about money.
Things can just move forward. So take what I just said about Tolkien, but now it's Toriyama, and Shueisha is essentially trying to undermine Capsule Corp and turn Toriyama's family to their side. So they can basically make whatever they want using the IP and then rake in the millions and billions in profits. I know it's a lot, but basically Shueisha owns the rights when it comes to creating certain things. They are directly connected and responsible when a movie or show is being made, for example. Obviously, because they have the means and manpower to make such things happen on such scales. However, Bandai Namco, the game company which also distributed games like Dark Souls and Elden Ring, they have exclusive rights to Dragon Ball in another way. Bandai Namco has the rights when it comes to toys and video games, which they obviously work with Shueisha, but again, they have more power in that regard. So you have this IP, and its complete and total ownership is not currently controlled by any one party fully.
You know what we need to look at? We need to, for those who are trying to start their own manga, anime, whatever case may be, their own webtoons. I think for anyone, whether you like her or not, this is for business reasons only, so don't take it as I'm saying I'm an advocate for this individual. But let's just say, in this sense, if you want to keep your IP intact and have full control over it, I mean, like absolute power, I think we need to look at we need to look at a case study of how J.K. Rowling has absolute power over her IPs like Harry Potter, because even though she has deals with Warner, I don't think Warner can jump without her. That's why when these activists go after her, they don't make any real like movements of getting rid of her, because she has full control over, like full like autonomy over like the idea of Harry Potter, right? We need to look at that very closely as like creators who wants to be something or want to start something.
Tell me more.
Right. So you need to look closely at what she did, like a case study of how did she keep her IP or her specific most popular IP
Says
intact?
afternoon teach.
So when something happens, I'm pretty sure she has something in mind, because I'm pretty sure these activists constantly attack her on a constant. Because I think she's a grandma now, right? I think she's a grandma, if I remember right. She has grandchildren, and because of her success, right? I'm pretty sure she has put things in place just in case if some crazy activists want to do something more wild or anything. She has put things in place for her family to know what to do, to take care, or at least know how to manage Harry Potter so it doesn't go down the wrong path. I think J.K. Rowling is at least intelligent enough to do that. I'm pretty sure Kira Toriyama did the same damn thing, but I'm pretty sure there's some other things that he wasn't able to do, or didn't expect to dying so suddenly. I don't think he expected that to happen. I'm pretty sure he had some medical issues that he knew about, but I don't think he was expecting to die like the way he did. I don't think most people, especially if like I think it was a heart attack. So like it is what it is. So as Westerners, or anyone who's even Easterners, I will say Westerners specifically, I think we should look closely at what J.K. Rowling has done. And anyone who's like brand new to the idea of making an IP, you should take notes on how she did things, whether it's a book. Remember, she has books, merchandise, movies, and then she has a TV show coming on the way with Warner. So like that gives you an idea that she has everything and has her hands in everything, even video games. So for those who hated this woman because of the whole Hogwarts Legacy thing, she made more money than I'm pretty sure some of the movies from that whole debacle, right? So we need to look closely at that and say, how do I get that type of autonomy over my
Says man
characters?
Dizzy.
In
How's
that
everyone
sense,
doing today?
we're doing well. We're just doing a reaction over here on YouTube. So like, we need to look closely at that, because she is a prime example of what happens if you don't take, oh no, not her, but she's a prime example of what you should do to make sure that your property is not mishandled in the wrong way. Now, I don't know if she has anything in writing after she passes, but I'm pretty sure she has something. She comes off extremely intelligent to know that she knows that these people are after her on a constant, just to make sure her family's safe. So I'm pretty sure she has something in writing.
Dragon Ball like the literal Dragon Balls themselves right now. Capsule Corp has a Dragon Ball, Shueisha has a few,
Okay,
so does
back a little, sorry.
anyone Party Fully. Think of Dragon Ball like the literal Dragon Balls themselves right now. Capsule Corp has a Dragon Ball, Shueisha has a few, so does Bandai and Toriyama's Residence. And they are all fighting this nasty battle behind the scenes to see who in the end gets all 7 so they can finally make their wish a reality, and it's not looking good, fellas. If Toriyama were alive, obviously none of this would be going on. It's like the House of the Dragon, basically. Toriyama was Viserys, and now that he's gone, his children are fighting over the Iron Throne. I don't know how many metaphors and examples I'm going to use in this video to explain this, but it is like the House of the Dragon balls, I guess, but you get what I mean. It has been confirmed by interviews and fans that Iyoku has been instrumental in keeping Dragon Ball along the path of righteousness. For example, if you liked Dragon Ball Super introducing Broly, thank Iyoku for that. He was the one that pushed to make Broly official canon within the universe going forward. He was also instrumental in making Gohan a lead character and superhero and making him achieve beast form. Basically, Iyoku is like the super fan who knows what the fans really want and is working to make those things happen. And Shueisha is your old man executive who doesn't really care, just wants to sell things with the IP to make money. Quality be damned, of course, they figure name alone will sell just fine. There was also this other article from Mary Station that I was reading too.
You see, even he said it. They figured out that just a name alone should sell like hotcakes, which it doesn't work like. It works like that, but it doesn't work like that.
As I was making this video, and it sheds even more light onto what exactly is owned by who in this legal battle going forward. So this was confirmed by Bunshun, another Japanese site. Here's what it said. It is said that the copyright of the Dragon Ball manga will remain with Shueisha, and that the games and video related work will be transferred to Capsule. It seems that negotiations are still
Oh, that's pretty cool. But let's keep focused on what the video is.
going on as to how far we will be involved with each other, a Shueisha employee told Bunshun. So now we know definitively, and it seems that Capsule Company and Iyoku have way more power over this IP than I originally thought. And it seems that Toriyama trusts Iyoku so much that he essentially made him the new owner of Dragon Ball in a sense in the wake of his demise. So this means a few things. One is that this battle goes on forever and it doesn't get resolved for a really long time, and that we could end up with splintered continuities and projects being made from both Shueisha and Capsule Corp in the future, which would be really annoying and confusing because then you would bring fans to these fights where they would argue, well, what's canon then? Is the ongoing manga series canon under Shueisha, or is the Capsule Corp games and such the new canon going forward? Yeah, I'm sure that won't confuse anybody, right?
Are we
this
listening
also
to
explains
reactions
why
again
when
today?
so many
That's gonna cause
Sorry,
too much
couldn't tell.
problems. That's gonna
Super
cause
loud
too
where
much
I'm
problems.
working at.
That's gonna cause way too much problems. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, it's already annoying enough in the Western
Rick's
society
official.
with comics
Be a
alone,
support hero today.
because they're
By
one-off.
using commands like support.
They're usually like one-offs or like a little like mini-series that's like contained in their own situation based on what Arthur they're on. But Jesus, that's gonna cause so many problems, because now the power scalers are gonna be fighting amongst each other like rats in a den, because they need to prove if Goku's strong enough or this character's stronger. But is this Shueisha Goku stronger than the Capsule Corp Goku? You know what I'm saying? Now we're gonna have two splits, different Goku and Vegetas, just like in Dragon Ball Xenoverse. So we have like Xeno Goku, we got Shueisha Goku, we got Capsule Corp Goku. You know what I'm saying? Then we're gonna have all these problems where everyone's gonna say who's the definitive Goku. And everyone's gonna just say it's just like having a bunch of Supermans. Like we have what do you call it? Classic Superman. We have Golden Superman. We have Steel Superman. We have all these different versions of Superman. Stupid man. I said stupid man. Superman. I said stupid man.
Oh boy. Silver Comet. I like the design for Kakume Gaku. It's fan made but cool.
See? Well, that's fan made, but but it is what it is.
Asked why it's taking so long to make a sequel to Super, voila, now you know why. They have been fighting for years, although respectfully at least, but now that Toriyama is gone, these two groups have effectively turned into a bloody fistfight over ideals and the future of the series. Who will end up winning though, I can't say for now, but I'm glad I got this story out there so more people can know about it. Who should run Dragon Ball in the future? Should it be the biggest publishing company in Japan who fans have criticized for diluting the brand and going for quantity over quality? Or should it be the former head of the Dragon Ball room who now aims to control the IP in the form of Iyoku and Capsule Corp? Who do you think the Akira Toriyama estate will side with? Are we cooked, fellas? I guess time will tell. Now let's get into this other story, which is also set in Japan, which is Assassin's Creed Shadows. This game doesn't look good, and apparently now people are getting exposed for lying. From that Park Place, Japanese political aid indicates Assassin's Creed Shadows debacle could escalate into diplomatic incident.
Aries here, and Bri. My mods are watching.
This news comes originally from Grumps, who said via Twitter,
Shorts.
the Assassin's Creed Shadow issues with Yasuke and the discredited historian Thomas Lockley have exploded into a potential diplomatic incident. Letters are being sent with questions to the Japan Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science and Technology, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. While the government have not taken action yet, they are waiting for final release of the game to decide. And there is mounting pressure in Japan to address the issue with Ubisoft portraying false information to Japanese children. Weirdly enough, this political aid in the video is not named in any of these articles, so I went looking. Apparently this political aid's name is Yuhei Shigekuroki. I could be wrong, of course, but I basically translated his YouTube channel's name into English, and that's what I got. So I will be calling this guy Yuhei for the rest of the video. He said in that video, as translated, and I quote, "It has been pointed out that Mr. Thomas Lockley, Associate Professor, Foreign Languages, Faculty of Law, Nihon University, wrote a
Interesting.
book about Yasuke's story, which he created from his own imagination and spread the contents of the book as historical fact all over the world, and that this is a movement to make a fabricated history the truth of the world without many Japanese people even knowing about it. Assassin's Creed Shadows, a new game being developed by the French game company Ubisoft, is set in the Sengoku period of Japan, and Yasuke appears as the main character. This game company has been taken over by people of the political correctness movement, and from the pre-release interview footage, the disrespect for Japan is blatant. The content of the game that has been partially released has also been distorted and grossly disrespectful of Japanese culture, history, and Japanese people. For example, in an interview, a person in charge of the grotesque decapitation scene said, "Death was a common occurrence in Japan at the time, and most people died by having their heads neatly cut off. I would like to know the government's views on this matter and its future policy. If it were a game made by a private company, there would be no need to be so concerned, but it has been announced that it was based on Japanese historical facts. And if this goes viral, people all over the world will start to believe it, which I think is extremely malicious." In fact, the following message has been released. The Brazilian embassy in Japan publicly announced on Facebook that Yasuke was Japan's first black samurai, and that Yasuke was brought to Japan in 1579 and became a hero. In general terms, if there is any suspicion that the content is contrary to deduction reading, careful measures must be
Damn it! If this continues, we're done for!
Damn, we fought that thing just last night.
taken. That this game is currently undergoing ethical review, so it has not been officially released, so will not be published as a separate game. It is not possible for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to respond because it is a game-related matter and has nothing to do with diplomacy. But after receiving the response from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, there was a phone call. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has responded that it is just a game that has nothing to do with diplomacy, but the matter has been quite large and there is a possibility that it could escalate into a diplomatic issue. I have said that there is a possibility, but at this current stage, it is just a game and I cannot give an answer. Regarding the request to the National Diet Library, it would be helpful if you could check the information in the primary source about Yasuke and Thomas Lockley's book, and then summarize the information that is clearly wrong after checking these two, end quote. By the way, that Thomas Lockley guy
lied.
is the dude who wrote the original book.
Bro lied. The bro lied.
Yasuke, and it turns out that he's been ousted to have been lying the entire time.
Oh my god, the
made up
dude
the entire
lied.
story to begin with for money, of course.
He did it
As
for
posted
money.
here by Manga Lawyer on Twitter, Thomas Lockley has had his position and program completely scrubbed from Nihon University where he works. And he has since gone into hiding, for lack of a better term, when it comes to actually being...
Bro, it was so embarrassing that they had to scrub him off the... Bro. We back. Okay.
being questioned on his historical evidence when it comes to Yasuke. And due to this monumental screw-up, Wikipedia has locked the page for Yasuke so nobody can edit it any further, and now Ubisoft has a whole game coming out about a dude that they claim existed but didn't, but they're not the only ones running damage control. Over at The Gamer, you have stupid articles like this one titled...
Yeah, they lied. The dude lied. It's some white guy who wrote the whole story about Yasuke, him being a Japanese samurai. The dude lied, so much so that he was so embarrassing that he was scrubbed out of his university, So they scrubbed his whole existence like he was never there. So much so, it's so bad that Wikipedia locked the account, or locked the Yasuke
Yep, sounds right.
Locked the page on Yasuke, so no one can't edit it. So the problem is now not only that it pretty much isn't historically correct. They're so scared that people keep changing shit.
Samurai.
That they
Dang.
You fucked up when Wikipedia locked their thing. You fucked up.
Shadows was
oh
always going to be queer. This article came up in defense when Ubisoft confirmed that there will be multiple romance options of all kinds for both Yasuke and Naoe in Shadows. This, of course, made a lot of people mad, and for good reason. It's a really messed up situation, however, no matter how they put it. Giving a fake character romance options is fine, I guess, because the character isn't real. Yet Ubisoft and others claim that Yasuke was a real samurai in Japan. So based on their logic, this guy...
Look, listen. I understand that people of that faction does not exist. When I say faction, you know what I'm talking about. But the likelihood of him being on that so-called quote-unquote faction in feudal Japan, the likelihood of this black man coming to Japan him being that is very unlikely. Not saying it's not possible, very unlikely though. In feudal Japan.
Guy actually existed, therefore making Yasuke capable of being gay when he was most likely not that at all, considering his surroundings in life as far as we know.
See? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Which means that these woke freaks have pushed their own principles and
That's
politics
crazy.
onto a guy who apparently existed. It would be like making a movie about Mike Tyson, but they decide to give him a boyfriend in the movie when he didn't have that in real life for woke brownie points. See what I mean? Now, if Yasuke never existed, then technically giving him multiple romances is fine, I guess, since he never existed. But then, that would lead Ubisoft and their apologists like thegamer.com here having to admit that
Funny,
the visionary
right?
Black Samurai was in fact a fabrication that never actually existed to begin with, and was instead made by a woke white guy in order to coax people into buying his book so that he could make money off of it. So basically, no matter which way we go, Ubisoft ends up losing, and now that the government is officially involved to review this game, which I doubt it'll be cancelled, it's too far along anyways, but it could dramatically affect its reputation and sales regardless. This game is a woke disaster, and there's so many contradicting opinions and mistakes found already that if I were Ubisoft, I would delay this game and fix everything. Instead, they're going to release what will objectively be a less than stellar game that'll be marred with problems and
Right?
right out of the gate.
Imagine that. Imagine Demon Slayer come out of nowhere and say imagine they just pull that out of nowhere. This random black guy just kind of just taught you how to do breeding styles. It's just, come on, dude. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any sense.
The gamer tries to spin the story saying that Ubisoft has had gay characters before in the AC series, which is true. But this time with Yasuke, they are clearly pushing their own politics onto a character in order to virtue signal. I think all of this is stupid, retconning, changing things to fit agendas, all of it. Then you have Jim Shooter, who was one of the former editors-in-chief over at Marvel Comics, who was asked about the state of entertainment today, and here's what he said.
So how do you feel about the state of the comic book industry today?
I think they forgot what business they're in. I think that,
Damn!
You know, hey guys, it's supposed to be entertainment, but a lot of it comes out like propaganda.
Thank you! It's just propaganda.
And I don't care if you agree with every word they say. Nobody wants to read propaganda.
Nope.
It's just, you know, it's boring, and an awful lot of retcon going on. And I mean, like I said, I respect the intent of the creators. And
Brutal, honestly, I like him.
Yep.
Jack Kirby never intended for Thor to be a girl. And
damn.
Yeah, he never intended. Joe Simon, Jack Kirby, and Stan Lee are spinning in their graves because they turned Captain America into like a Hydra guy or a Nazi or something, and then he always was.
Flynn
Well,
Bassett.
that's just wrong.
I literally just watched this earlier, LOL.
Oh, for real?
Stay true to the character.
Stay true to the character. Thank
And he's
you.
right. What's happening with Yasuke
Stay
here
true
is
to the
evidence
character.
enough that this kind of nonsense needs to stop, and the same goes for Dragon Ball.
Listen, if I were to write a gay character, I'm not changing their you know, their orientation. They're staying that character. You know what I'm saying? That's only right to do. Keep them as that character. I won't change them for politics reasons. That's crazy. That's madness. Keep them where they are because that's what they originally was. When you start changing them because the times are changing, they're never a character. They're just an ornament at that point. They're just decoration. They're your BBL windows that you can change the blinds on at any time of any time of any time of the season, any time of a couple of years. No, bro.
Silver Comet.
That's crazy.
I'm waiting for the day someone is attracted to rocks.
That day, I'm pretty sure exists. I'm pretty sure you can look that up right now. I'm pretty sure you can look that up right now.
2. They are attempting to drag the good name of Akira Toriyama and his life's work to make a quick buck, and it's disgusting.
You're looking at a clown.
None of this is okay. We need to keep all of these people accountable, because if we don't, these things will just keep happening over and over until we're all dead and it happens again. If you ask me, Dragon Ball cannot be destroyed. I hope more people see this so that the word spreads of what Shueisha is doing behind the scenes following Toriyama's death. As for Yasuke, screw this game, dude. I'm so sick and tired of Ubisoft ruining things and woke identity politics. Plus, why have two protagonists again?
Vessels.
The only other time they did
Rock
this was
fetish.
Syndicate, which was one of the worst performing games in the series. Who over there thought it
I'm
was a
pretty sure
good
that's a
idea to
thing.
do that again? Just
I
give
wouldn't be
me a
surprised.
Eivor-like character who I can make
Ryaga
male or
Samurai.
female and just make a good game.
BBL curtains
This slop
LOL.
needs to stop.
BBL.
Remember, vote with your wallets, friends. As always, thank you for watching. Subscribe, share, like the video. Thanks to my
BBL
patrons and
Windows?
members
Silver
as
comment.
well. It's $3 for
Oh
a
my
membership
goodness,
to get
it's real.
exclusive emojis and a badge
Told
next
you.
to your name if you
I
want
knew it.
And it also supports the channel, so I thank you. Have a wonderful day. Keep your middle fingers high, and I'll see you in the next one.
There you go. Oh, that's cut off. Wait,
If
what
you
the
want to
hell?
feel your energy levels.
All right, so that was Endymion on the whole situation, on the whole Dragon Ball thing. Like, subscribe, share, follow, and comment. So this is something that a lot of creators should take note of what happens when you pass away, and always keep that in mind, what you should do, or at least have an idea what you should do, or at least try something to keep your IP in check. So when you're long gone, it's in the right hands, and then other people like know how to pass the mantle on that. But anyway, so with that said, like, subscribe, share, follow, and comment. I hope you guys enjoy this. I do appreciate every last one of you with this reaction we did on YouTube. So with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one.
Imagine having an attraction to rocks LOL.
Imagine. BBL rocks.
Flynn Vassens. Curvy rocks.
Kirby rocks. That's crazy. Later, guys.
Silver comment. It's the texture that matters.
Is it really? It's the texture that matters. All right, we got one more. We have
Silver
one
comment.
last
Soft or
reaction.
hard rocks.
Is there really soft rocks out there? Well, I guess there's smooth rocks. But I don't think there's soft rocks. There's like smooth rocks, if anything.
hi.
Hello. All right, so we have one more video, and this one is from the manga. Oh, the Mangaku. Okay, that's it. I'm not doing this. How do you say this fucking name? I'm not even gonna try. My Western brain won't.
The Mango Taku.
The Mango Taku. Gotcha. Then this is the Mango Taku. He has 1,000 subscribers. Good for him. And what we need to do, or what we're going to do, is this video on this new kaiju manga will be big. It's called, what is it called? I can't even
Silver
say
comment.
that either.
They do exist actually.
Hold
Flynn
on.
Vassens.
Oh, really?
Soft rock would be the fragile ones you can physically break by punching it or something.
Oh, those fragmented ones. Okay.
Galaxias.
This is called Galaxias. It's a manga or anime. I think it might become an anime. It's like the next magic one. It says this new
Stream
kaiju
elements.
manga
Thank you for following Space Paladin.
will be
Smiley face.
will be big. It's called Galaxias. I think I said it right. And the One Piece effect. Wonder what that means. So we're gonna see what this anime or this manga is about. It's mainly a manga first, I think. So we're gonna hear about it. I think it's a magic type anime. It may have a cool magic system. So maybe a
Bot Rick's
shonen.
official.
Maybe.
Be a support hero today. By using commands like /donation and /cash app.
Thank you, Botrix. All right, so let's play this and see what it has to say.
Because to me, this piece has something that the manga industry has been lacking. Something so pure and rare nowadays that it just hit me like a truck of an isekai anime. This manga has to me the One Piece effect. And you may ask yourself, what exactly is that? Am I talking about the manga being a shonen manga?
Silver
or maybe
comment.
it is an action manga
It's called
with funny bits?
soapstone.
No, guys.
It's malleable.
It is actually something a little bit deeper than that. And I want to use today's video to show you guys
okay.
why I believe this manga will be the next hit, even with only one chapter being released. Today, my friends, we'll talk about Galaxias and the sense of adventure. Before we start, I just want to say that this video is completely based in my experiences and opinions. I would love to read your takes about it in the comment section, so feel free to speak your mind and subscribe if you enjoy the content. So let's start. When I first read One Piece, I was around 11 years old, and the manga really caused an impression on me. Well, up until this day, it is one of my favorite pieces of media, but I want to focus on why it caused an impression on me. It was not because of the art, it was not because of the world building. What really grabbed my heart was the sense of adventure. We have this protagonist, Ruffy, that wants to become the king of the pirates. And how will he do that? By having this crazy adventure where he doesn't know exactly what to do, but he knows that he has to explore the world. He cannot accomplish his goals if he doesn't go on this huge odyssey. My younger self got so interested in this type of story that I've been looking for mangas like that ever since. I came across a few ones that came close, but there are actually two that deserve to be mentioned here, as they also have this One Piece effect I'm talking about. The two mangas being Hunter x Hunter and Magi. Both will soon have the spotlight, as I want to make a couple of videos about them, but today we're here to talk about Galaxias. That with only one chapter, I can say with confidence, that will be...
Some people must be itching to pounce.
Big. Have you ever watched the movie?
I just get to the point. I kind of want to know. You got me kind of on that.
Yeah, yo, the dreaming. Don't give it up, Luffy.
These guys, he kind of got me interested. I want to know what he's talking about. Like, I'm hearing it, but I'm hearing One Piece only so far.
Chapter 1 is out and I already like it.
Oh, you already read this? You read this manga already? The Galaxias? You already... The Galaxias is Galaxias? I think Galaxias.
Be a support hero.
You read this already?
By using commands like
well, there is a particular
donation
scene that really expresses what I'm trying to say here. The scene being the food critic eating the protagonist's dish and getting reminded of his childhood. Just like Galaxias and One Piece to me. As I went through the pages, something inside of my soul just started to tingle. Like I felt like that before. The magic of the unknown, the wish for adventure. I just felt as I was reading One Piece for the first time.
I watched
this first chapter has everything that a first chapter needs. It is exciting, it presents the characters very well, it leaves a mysterious vibe in the air, and it shows the essence of the story. If you can support the author by reading the chapter directly from Kodansha's official site, I highly recommend it. If not, read it from other sources, but don't forget to buy the volume once.
YouTube thing? What YouTube thing? I'm having a blank. I'm feeling stupid now.
It's available in your region. Now let me finally introduce the manga to you guys. The premise goes a little bit like this. It's been 10 years since the assassination of the Dragon King, the land's most powerful ruler. Off in the corner of the kingdom where tailed dragon folk dwell, Gio, a human girl, yearns for adventure and an escape from rural life. However, when she meets the mysterious amnesiac young man Nereid, Gio's life turns upside down. With courage and curiosity knocking on the door, the two of them find the ultimate adventure waiting for them. A traditional battle fantasy from a rookie artist begins. I want you guys to really experience this first chapter by yourselves. That's why I won't focus too much on the plot at first, but I want to talk a little about the characters and vibes of this piece. Okay, in this story we have two main characters. Let's start with Gio, not Dio from JoJo, okay?
Video subject.
You're right, bro. You're not wrong. You're right. That's what you gotta build that hype. I gotcha.
Oh, okay, now it's better. Gio is a cheerful girl that craves for adventure. Since she was a little kid, she has been reading adventure books and learning about the world from her private library. There's just one problem. Her father, the mayor of the village, who is actually a dragon folk, does not allow her to leave, saying that being an adventurer in these days is just a waste of time, as no one cares about that anymore.
The world's tallest peak has already been conquered. The mysterious ancient texts have all been translated, and the demons of the jungle are just relatives of cats. There aren't any adventures left anywhere.
Reminds me of
but Gio doesn't care about that. She wants to be just like her hero, the greatest adventurer ever, Yuri.
You're not wrong.
Who the mayor actually hates, by the way. Not that Gio must be this crazy adventurer who will discover something never seen before, but she wants to leave her island and go on a journey, meet lots of people, see lots of things, and put all of it in a book. then kids in the future could read it and get excited, just like her. And there's this comment from Gio that really stuck on me.
It's not fair, huh? You can't choose when to be born.
Showing a very humane trace from her. The concept of nostalgia is a huge one. We hear some young people saying that the 90s, 80s, 70s, even the 60s were better, like the present will never be enough. We are never satisfied with how things are, cause it would be better to be born a couple of years before. It doesn't matter when you were born, the nostalgia struggle is huge. But this depressing side of Gio is suddenly shaken by our second protagonist. I'm talking about Neride, the amnesiac dragon folk. Neride is a mysterious character who literally gets fished by Gio while she was fishing. He's a high-energy young man who has lost all his memories and basically doesn't know anything about the world. In fact, that's why he started traveling, to learn about everything, like literally everything. He even had to relearn to read and write. While taking notes in his little diary, he is motivated by adventure and for the pursuit of Yuri Host. We don't know exactly the reason, but it is what it is. Gio then helps Neride as he doesn't have where to go and she doesn't want her father to know about him, allowing Neride to stay in her library where they have an interesting interaction. Neride listens to Gio as she vents about her father and then gives Gio a lesson on following dreams and having no one tell her what to do, boosting her confidence and showing to her that they actually are very similar. Both want to live an adventure, and almost for the same reasons. One has all the knowledge and no freedom, and the other has no knowledge and all the freedom. Two sides of the same coin. A duo that will be well remembered, not only in Galaxia's story, but in the manga industry too.
So technically, it's the relationship between Kobe and Luffy. Right? That's exactly how Luffy and Kobe met in the anime. Kobe was trapped in his situation and wanted to go off to adventure.
Silver Comet.
You know?
Yes.
Luffy wasn't going off to adventure, but like he wanted to stay contained in the sense of like having something more to live for. Something like that. Something to that extent. Something close to that. That's what this is.
Now I'll start with the spoilers of this first chapter.
No!
And our conclusion. So if you want the
And this
full
girl
experience
ended up in a barrel.
Yes, and she ended up in a barrel.
beforehand, pause this video and come back after reading the chapter. Okay, so
wait, no, wait, okay, wait, okay. Do anyone has any wanting to read this manga? I know I'm not gonna read it anytime soon, so I don't really mind losing a spoiler on chapter 1. That's not a big loss on my behalf. It's just chapter 1.
Silver Comet. This author is too good, we need more.
I don't know if I should play it or not. Maybe some of you may want to hold off. For me, I'm not gonna read it anytime soon. I might even forget. So like, it's up to y'all.
Silver Comet. Wait, I have a manga you will like, Art. Ryaga Samurai.
We got a video?
Thinking face.
Says vote.
It is just chapter 1, right? It's still holding up the premise. So it's not like it's a total loss on that behalf. It's just chapter 1. It's relatively new. It's not like it's a big, I don't think it's going to be like a big thing of something to learn about.
Silver Comet. Hopefully it has a video.
Yeah, send it to me on Discord if you can. I just want to, I don't mind listening to it because I'm going to forget anyway. But I know some of you may want to read this manga for any reason. I don't want to spoil it for you guys.
The manga is called Heart Gear.
Heart Gear.
Restream.io. Trophy, congratulations. You've received 100 messages today with Restream chat.
Heart Gear. Alright. Copy paste. Okay, so I'm gonna play it, guys, because we need to finish this video. I can't just stop it here just because he says there's a spoiler. I don't mind hearing the spoiler because it's just chapter 1. It's not like he's saying chapter 20 from here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna play it, But if you don't want to hear any spoilers and this sounds super interesting to you, jump out for now and come right back later in like 4 minutes, 3 minutes, because this video is gonna be done in 3 minutes. It's only 3 minutes left, so I don't mind hearing it. It is what it is.
Okay, go.
All right.
After Nerai talks with Gio, they split as he wants to keep moving to other islands. Then something crazy happens. A character claiming to be the Royal Knight of the Dragons shows up and starts killing everybody in his way, saying that he's seeking the daughter of a traitor, the daughter of Yuri Host. We get to understand that the mayor is not actually the father of Gio. He was a friend of Yuri who was trusted to take care of her. He has never allowed Gio to leave the town because he was trying to protect her. The knight, after almost killing Gio and the mayor, gets surprised by the girl, who kicks the villain in the nuts. Which, by the way, is a hella funny panel. This manga has some gag moments that are really something else. But let's focus back here. When the Dragon Knight is about to finish
yo, that is art. That is art. Look at that drawing. That looks funny. Oh my god. If that was animated, oh my god, that better be like, oh man, you eat what's inside. Oh my god.
Silver comment.
Let's focus back here.
This is
when
perfect.
The Dragon Knight is about to finish Gio, our second hero shows up once again, saying that the ocean at night was just too scary. The Dragon Knight then says that if Nerai attacks him, that will mean war with the whole Dragon Kingdom, which really reminded me of one of the best scenes in One Piece, where the protagonist punches a noble in the face, resulting in a crazy outcome. But getting back to Galaxias, Nerai then says the coldest line of the chapter.
Grit your teeth.
Finishing the scene with this
awesome scene!
punch.
Awesome scene! It gives me Gacha Akuda vibes! Look at that scene! Come on guys, look at that scene! That looks like Gacha Akuda or some type of Fire Force. Look at that scene! I love scenes like that. That's amazing. That just captures the moment. Like, look at that! I will want to draw something like that. That looks amazing!
Silver comment.
Oh my god,
that
looks
transformation was just cool.
Let's go!
Samurai.
Let's go!
Nikakaki.
It's like this. I live for stuff like this. This is amazing. That is a cool scene. That is so cool. Oh my god, I would love to draw something like that.
Punch.
I don't give a
Raiga
shit
Samurai.
about that.
Basically ending the fight and showing us
Silver
that
comment.
Nereid is actually
That's
a
the type
pretty
of art I'm
strong
striving
dragon
for.
foe.
Yes.
After the battle, Nereid asks Gio to come together with him as he wants to find her father, Yuri Host, wrapping the chapter with another great line from Nereid.
Did you know? The first thing I discovered during my journey was that humans love adventures.
And I couldn't agree more, because that, my friends, is the One Piece effect.
Enraged video game man. One Punch manga is also awesome.
Okay. That's awesome. One Punch manga. Yeah, that's it's pretty good. Yeah.
Silver comment. That can't be more true.
Thanks a lot for watching. Leave a like and subscribe for more. Support Galaxias and its author. Keep being hungry for adventures. Keep fighting for your dreams. Keep moving forward. And of course, keep reading.
Silver comment.
You know what's funny?
The author made a manga called Black Torch, but the story because of a similarity to Bleach.
I don't like when it's just too similar, though. When it's too similar, I start making comparisons like how I did. I did do that with Black Clover, but Black Clover became different after a while. And it was like, okay, I can see the difference. It's funny, I hear his accent. And now because I hear his accent, I'm hearing Luffy from the Netflix version. I just hear Luffy. Alright, so with that said, like and share for all comment. This was the Mango Otaku. Thank you for making this video, bro. This was awesome. He made this 3 days ago.
I don't know there was a VID that covered it.
Okay. So like he made this 3 days ago. So if you guys like what he made today, so give him a subscribe. and a follow. Give him a like too. I actually did like this video. This was a great video. I subscribed to him. That was an awesome video. Great video. Great video. All right. So with that said, like, subscribe, share, follow, and comment. I'll see you guys in the next one. Laters. Okay. So we have
Silver
one.
Comet.
I guess we have one more.
Well, I will watch him then. Wait, not like that.
So like we got one more. So Silver Comet recommended a manga called Heart Gear. Looks like it's got an anime coming. It has a it's like official manga trailer. Heart Gear. Okay, Heart Gear. Review? I'll say a review. Yeah, it's like a review. Manga. Okay. It's got 302. I like showing off the little guy. I don't like showing off too much big guys. Like, that sounds weird. I don't like showing off the bigger guys too much. I like picking up dudes who are like really picking up dudes. Oh my god. I like picking the videos that dudes are working on that are more smaller so they get a scene. So they get seen. I like reacting to those videos because it helps them out and helps me out. Words these days. Anyway, so let me see. But I don't want too low because they don't ever get
Silver
seen like
Comet.
that. Somewhere in the thousands.
Oh no.
2000. Let me see. Manga Sloth. Did I think I listened to you. Deluxe manga worth buying. Let me see.
Enraged video game
I'll
man.
pick between
Picking up dudes.
picking up dudes. That's gonna haunt me now. Let me see.
That was kinda. Enraged video game man. Dudes to pick up in your area.
Jesus Christ. Single dudes in your area to pick up. Oh. Alright, damn. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna get you guys pick between the mint
Enraged
stuff.
video game man. Sorry, I don't know where I was going with that.
Hold on.
Stop asking research questions to ChatGPT. Its answers
I
are
know.
not reliable.
This is a good video. I usually check their video a little bit before I start.
Welcome to TacosandGeeks.com. Justin here, back with more manga reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing the manga Heart Gear Volume 1. This is published by Viz Media. As always, I give you.
All right, I'll try out this creator here. So this is Otakus and Geeks. This is my first time seeing him. He only has 324
But not
views on this
telling for
video.
obvious reasons. Silver Comet. How to
Pick up dudes in a dungeon. Wow.
One dude to pick up.
One dude to pick up. That could be a manga still too. One dude to pick up. It has nothing to do with dating. It's just something random like a sports anime. It just throw everyone off. Anyway, so this is called this creator's called Otakus and Geeks. I don't know if it's like a small company
LMAO.
or it's just one dude who called himself that. But they have 324 views. They made this video 11 months ago, so it's
Enraged
relatively
video
old,
game
but
man. Reincarnated into another world to pick up dudes.
so like it's like this. So I guess even
We
though
got
it's
a
not
title.
technically new.
Now we just have to write a manga about it.
I know, right? It's not technically new, but it's still, I think any recommendation can always work no matter how old the video or how old the manga is. If it's good, it's good. It doesn't have to worry about how old it is. That's the great thing about manga as an anime. So with that said, let's see what he has to say.
It all started with a ruler.
It all started with a ruler. So this is Heart Gear Volume 1 review. It's only 5 minutes long. Should I
Dude
pick
X
this
dude.
one? Let me see. One thing.
Says just has to worry about the reviews.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one genre.
Enraged video game man.
Okay, you know what?
Alright, let's let the man talk loudly crying
Okay,
face.
you know what? Let's go with this one. Because,
Silver Comet. Okay.
it seems this one's much longer. 5 minutes is too short. I don't think that's a good enough synopsis or an analysis of a video. It's kind of like a starter.
Sorry pleading face.
So, we're gonna go with, how do you say your name? How do you say your name? Okay, how do you say your name? What the hell? Hold on, guys.
Namuker.
Dude, I am not saying that name.
Okay, that was a new low for me.
I am not saying that name. That is a weird name.
If I had to
I'm gonna just call you Nam. This is Nam, And
Enraged video
or
game
Nom.
man.
You can say Nom. Let's say Nom.
No worries.
So this is Nom, and he's talking about heart gear. And for this video, he has 14,000 subscribers, relatively small to a certain extent. But this video was made 3 years ago, but it is what it is. It has 2,000 views. So let's see if we can boost those up a little bit with our views, and if you like what he says, let's see. Because I'm going with this video compared to the previous video because this video is a lot longer. It'll feel more like a video than it being just 5 minutes.
I'll remember the name LOL.
If I had to pick one genre that I could call my absolute favorite, it would have to be science fiction. It is a genre that holds itself together by pushing the absolute limits of reality by utilizing things like science, technology, and all the things that you can find in the real world. Hence why I always preferred it over straight up fantasy. If I had to choose between kingdoms and futuristic cities, I'd pick cities every time. Magic or ESP? Definitely picking ESP. I don't know, it's just more grounded for me. There are some series that explore both ideas at once, like the Index franchise, but more times than not, it's the science side of things that had my interest. But this video is not going to be about Index. I came across this absolute gem of a manga called Heart Gear by Takaki Tsuyoshi, and I'm going to talk about the premise and then go over some things that I like about this manga. It is free to read on Manga Plus, so I highly suggest you go over there and check it out. It is really good. The story starts off saying that World War III had happened and effectively wiped out all of humanity. 200 years later, we kick off with Rue, apparently the last human on Earth, and her caretaker Zet, a gear that acts as a parental figure for her. And just a side note, at first these robots were referred to as droids, but later the author renames them as gears due to copyright issues. Apparently the term droid is copyrighted. Go figure. Naming issues aside, the both of them live off an agricultural—
I never knew that. At least we all know that now. So if you ever thought about writing a manga or anything that has the word droid in it, don't use it. It's copyrighted. I'm pretty sure that because of, well, Android, probably 9 times out of 10. That's crazy.
Lifestyle by living off crops and anything in the area. One day, however, Rue goes off exploring and ends up finding a facility she has never came across before. She finds herself deep inside and discovers a mechanism that she accidentally turns on. Out from it comes a robot that calls itself Chrome, stating that due to not having a base program installed, most of its functions are restricted. Rue brings Chrome back to Zet and he explains that a base program is sort of like a goal or a reason a gear exists, and due to Chrome not having one at the moment, it's sort of like he has no soul. Now, this point is important throughout the story, but I'll get to that later. Zet suggests that Chrome should live with them, and from there he goes through day-to-day life observing Rue, pondering the things she does while trying to rationalize them.
Oh,
Zet
you
and
have?
Rue both teach him many things.
I always like these
the
type
world.
of designs when it comes to robots like this. I always find them very interesting. I always like designs on humans just like Gotcha Kuda or the last one we just watched.
Enraged video game man. Wow.
But when it comes to like
Astonished
designs
face.
on robots, I like a specific look when it comes to anime.
Silver Comet. I know, right, Ryaga, ever since it came out I have gotten the manga.
I gotta get into this.
And humans, and although he doesn't really get the reason why Rue does certain things, he does try to make an effort with Zet's assistance, and slowly but surely they become somewhat of a family. However, one day when Zet and Rue decide to go out exploring, they end up finding a deer with its stomach blown out. Zet, realizing that the wounds are fresh, decides that they should head back early, but they are intercepted by the one responsible, an insane unit. Basically a gear that has a runaway AI due to the wear and tear over the past 200 years with no repairs or maintenance. Zet tells Rue to escape while he buys time for her, telling her that she should live. She gets
For
back
the
to Chrome,
anime, there
however,
are
the
different
insane unit
types.
follows her back and brings
In
back
this
Zet's
anime,
head.
there are different
Very
generations
considerate.
of gears.
I figured, cause like I like the design so far.
It then lines up its shot towards Rue and Chrome, while Chrome is trying to process all that has happened and figure out what to do next. Now I love how this page uses Chrome's body as a sort of template for the panels. It gives us the feeling that he's literally using every fiber of his being to try to find a way out of this situation, but can't due to his restricted functions. I especially love the internal monologue that he has. He goes from thinking what would be best for him to do, to what should I do, to then what do I want to do. His line of thinking shifts from a mechanical point of view to a more human way of thinking. He ultimately decides that he needs to prioritize Rue's life and protects her from the incoming shot. Things are looking pretty hopeless, however, out from Chrome's body comes his true form. It states that he will make his base program to be to protect Rue at all costs. Needing her
What the
approval
hell?
to lift his restrictions, she approves of this base program, and Chrome immediately goes to town on the insane gear and instantly wipes it out. They head back and Rue mourns Zet's supposed destruction. However, Chrome takes Zet's head and pulls out his core unit, stating that if they could find a compatible body, they may be able to restore him. However, to that end, they'd have to leave their current living situation and go out and find an engineer and a new body. Rue ultimately decides that she wants to see Zed again, and with that, they both head out to explore this post-apocalyptic world and restore their friend. Now, that's the basic premise from there on out. They travel through many places hoping to find any leads on any method they could use to restore Zed, and this is something that I want to implore to any reader that may end up reading this. Do not read this as a typical battle shown in manga. I seriously believe you are doing yourself a huge disservice if you come into this expecting a myriad of fights between robots, and to be fair, there are fights and quite a handful of them too, especially during the Valhalla segment later in the story. But I believe the story is at its best when exploring the desolate world with the rundown cities, barren wastelands, and sometimes even wildlife and greenery. With humanity gone, I feel it gives much more room for the setting since Rue and Chrome are on a long journey jumping from place to place, and on this journey they meet all sorts of gears. At first, I was a bit worried since most of the gears we do see at the beginning come in the shape as normal people. That would seriously underuse the many shapes and forms a robot can take.
Ooh, like the designs!
However,
I like the designs! I like the designs! One thing I love about anime is character designs, and I like it when they're like kind of over the top, but like sometimes they're unconventional, but they still look cool. Like her outfit in the middle. It's so unconventional, but then again, it looks awesome still. I love it. Looks amazing.
I was wrong. The two of them run into gears of all kinds, and it sort of gives me Horizon Zero Dawn vibes seeing how some gears take the form of animals. It also reminds me of the 3 Robots episode in Love, Death and Robots, since they're also going through a post-apocalyptic city. Seeing the blend of technology and nature is why I love the science fiction genre. It's usually one or the other, but seeing the blend of the two really brings out a good aesthetic. And speaking of aesthetics, I have to mention the art. Takaki Tsuyoshi is now part of the group of manga artists that have this scratch and sketch style that I absolutely adore.
Yes!
He's up there with Ishida Sui, Itagaki Paru, and Fujimoto Tatsuki. Despite what may look like scribbles, it conveys the idea of age, rust, and foliage really well. I'm never looking at the page in confusion, rather I'm in awe. And besides, this is set 200 years in an apocalyptic future, so this style is actually very appropriate. There will be times where there will be absolutely no dialogue, where we could just take in the landscapes and how time and the lack of human life has affected the world. Again, this manga is not about its battles. I won't talk about the art so much here, considering that he does deserve his own artist analysis video. Another thing that this manga does really well is the personality and backstory of some of the more down-to-earth gear.
To Black Torch, huh? Okay, we'll look at that next.
Say for example, this gear that they meet that's a barber. This barber's base program is to cut hair, therefore he is sort of bound to it like a curse. However, he's able to conceptualize the passage of time through seeing a girl grow up, and she always goes to this gear in particular to get her hair done. The woman even eventually brings her own child to this barber. While it could be seen as a perpetual curse, he's able to live through others as people grow out their hair, unlike gears. And it is the same for Zed, since his base function was to observe and do research, which gave him the feeling of satisfaction when raising Rue. The story is absolutely full of this, and while the two travel and meet gears, they talk about their base functions and what it means for them to be alive. And during this you slowly see how Chrome develops more of a personality. At first he's pretty stoic, but in the later chapters you see him get visibly more angry when Rue's life is threatened, or visibly happy when he learns more about himself. Despite being a combat type gear, he becomes less of a machine and more of a person. Even Rue is a really good character. At first glance you would probably think she's a character that isn't really capable of doing anything herself, but she was taught many things from Zed that helped the duo along the way. She's skilled at scavenging, preparing food from livestock, starting fires lumberjack style, and all sorts of physical labor that isn't battling, since Chrome usually handles that part. I'm glad there's a division of labor because the story could have easily made Rue a useless character. The manga's only 29-ish chapters in and it explores so many great themes about one's purpose. Hence why I believe that the battles are secondary to the story as a whole. And sure, there is some level of fan service, but honestly, it comes quickly just as fast.
Yes!
So never tune your
Yes!
so
I missed
long.
this!
Plus, with most of the characters being machines, we can sort of mitigate the annoying cliches of anime and manga, since these aren't really people. But it's weird because at the same time,
Watch it, Teach. Your gooning is showing.
It's satisfying seeing these machines slowly behave more human. I think I've gushed about this long enough, and it already goes without saying, but I highly suggest you read this. Unfortunately, it is on a hiatus because good things being on hiatus seem to be the theme of really good manga these days, but even what's there is really worth the read. Hello YouTube, it's me again, back after the video. Yeah, this is just going to be a common thing that after a video I'll just give my quick afterward updates for what may be going on. Yeah, this is
I know this guy, and I remember who he is.
Not teaches, just representing what it means to be cultural.
Exactly. Let's go, man of culture. All right. So with that said, like, subscribe, share, follow, comment. This was from, I can't say his name. I feel like if I say it, it'll be a hate crime. So I'm gonna say this is from. I can't say his name. I will say Nam. This is from Nam. His link. Don't worry, just in case if I can't say it, his name will be in the title. Like, I'll tag them in the title and tag them in the description. So if you like what he said or whatever they say these days, we gotta say they just in case. We.
A man of culture.
Man of culture, indeed. So, like, if you guys enjoyed this video and or anything like that, if you like the character or the creator who made the video that we're reacting to, follow them on Discord. On the description. I have my brain is everywhere, but follow in the descriptions. Like, subscribe, share, follow, and comment. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. There, guys. Okay. So the next one was Black Torch, correct? Let's look at Black Torch. Usually anything with black in it in the name of a manga usually it goes pretty hard. Most cases. It's very rare if ever does. I can't talk today. I can't talk. Ooh.
Mini _ Joey 1. Smiling face with sunglasses.
Impressions. Ooh, this manga got some recognition. Okay. Let me see. The thumbnails are Did this show and jump deserve to be canceled? Was it canceled? Look back at Black. Was it canceled?
Silver Comet. It is.
It's canceled.
Or was in this instance after being canceled.
Okay, so if it's canceled, then what I'll do is this. We'll watch this one. 10 promising manga, because it has Black Torch in it. So since it's canceled, I don't think it makes any sense to watch a whole synopsis on it on something that's canceled. So, also, if I'm going to watch something that's canceled, I'll watch 10 promising manga from Shonen Jump that got axed. This was made 3 years ago. I don't know if I ever did this video. I doubt I did. But we'll watch this video because it's more of a theme than it is just a one-off manga that got canceled. Because some canceled mangas look really promising if they ever had the backing, but you know. So let's watch that because it still has that anime, the Black Torch in it.
It's time to start my second life. The farming.
The video is what?
In
14
video
minutes.
Game man. It's unfortunate for the mangas to get axed.
Yeah.
Than ever. Grammarly not only is
Shonen.
All right, so this is from. How do I say your name too? God, these names these days. Let's see. I know it's not gonna be offensive. This one. Keiki. So this is from Keiki. He has 10,000 subscribers. He has 13,000 views on this. This was made 3 years ago. I don't know if I did this video. If it does pop up, then I'll leave, and then we'll just do the video over again to another video. But if I've done this video, please, Bri, let me know, because it makes no sense to have the same video posted up again. That'll look crazy on my behalf. But there's so many of them that they all look the same to me sometimes. So with that said, let's see what Keiki has. It says in this video, 10 promising manga from Shonen Jump that got axed. So this video isn't really it's a recommendation to an extent where
Gotcha.
Thank you, bro. This is a recommendation technically, but it's at your own cost, because remember, these mangas or these animes or manga specifically has been canceled by Shonen. So the chance of them ever coming back is almost zero. Like, it's not coming back. I think once it gets axed, it's never coming back. So if that's something that you're into, just seeing what could have been from this video, you have these recommendations from Keiki. So let's see what Keiki has to say. So
Jump is undoubtedly the biggest and most well-known manga magazine in the world. They house some of the biggest manga titles in the industry such as Dragon Ball, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, and more. Although Jump became famous because of these juggernauts, they also became famous, or dare I say infamous, because of their brutal methods when it comes to their serialized titles. A sudden drop in sales and popularity can result in a series to drop down the top list and eventually gets axed or cancelled. But this survival of the fittest method that they adopted kept Jump as being the greatest in their field, and it also helped.
I know lately all these manga recommendators all have some form of accent. They all sound like Luffy from the Netflix version. It's kind of funny.
Them to produce high-quality stories and worldwide phenomena. But we're not here to talk about the victors. We are here to pay respect to those who didn't make the top. To those who I think had the potential to be big but was robbed by the opportunity that it should have. Here are my 10 best cancelled manga series from Weekly Shonen Jump with the most promising stories and unique concepts. But before we go to the actual list, this video is sponsored by the Shonen Jump app. Man, I wish that was true, but no, this video is actually not sponsored, god damn it. But regardless, I'll still plug it anyways because just for $2 a month, you can now access the whole Shonen Jump library from its older titles to the new ones. And that's a lot of manga, folks. This app was actually a huge help with putting all of this manga together, so if you can afford it, then you should avail a subscription. This way, you can also directly support the industry.
Like he's holding in a laugh.
Yeah, kind of.
Which is very good to be honest, so do it. Now, to the actual list. Artextric is by far the first manga series that I read that didn't deserve a cancellation, concept, and story-wise. I didn't even think that I would see a manga about acting, but here I am, in the presence of an incomplete masterpiece that was robbed because of the indecency of its creator. If you don't know the whole story behind the cancellation of Artextric, let me summarize it for you. The writer of Artextric, Tatsuya Matsuki, was arrested on suspicion of sexually assaulting 2 teenage girls. This resulted in the series being cancelled and officially removed from all official platforms. So, if you want to read this series, then I guess the only way to do it is by piracy. It had a good run of 123 chapters, and all I can say is, what a missed opportunity it is. But let's move on to the more older titles that I'm surprised hasn't gotten an anime adaptation yet because they definitely deserve it. The first one is Siren. Siren follows the adventure of Ageha Yoshina, a high school student who is chosen by
They didn't get to point out what happened in the last second. Like, yeah, that's kind of sad that that dude lost his stuff, but dude, when you're a piece of shit, you know, piece of shit things happen to you, so, yeah.
Mrs. Q as a participant in the Siren games. The games take place in a world known initially as Siren, which is revealed to be the real world a decade in the future. Ageha and his friends attempts to alter the future and save the world from becoming Siren. And the second one is M0, which follows a high school student named Taiga Kuzumi, who was admitted to a...
Says remember Kodiak.
Oh no, we're not gonna talk about that. No, we're not talking about that. Everyone knows about that. My little brother won't shut up about that either. So like, no, no, we're not talking about that. I've got monetized. I ain't losing that now.
A magic school under special circumstances. Both of these manga is your typical battle shonen type of stories that Shonen Jump is known for. Although they are the same genre, Siren leans more on the mature side while M0 caters on the not so mature side of the shonen demographics. But you can rest assured that both have entertaining stories and amazing fights. But if I can pick one out of these two, then I'd pick Siren because like I said earlier, the story is more mature which perfectly aligns on my taste. It's also more engaging of a read, and the art style still looks amazing given the fact that it's already been a decade since the manga finished. But M0 is still good story-wise and action-wise, although the art style didn't age well in my opinion. Or maybe it's just the scanlations. Who knows? But either way, you still need to check out these two because they are good. This next one is also a pretty old series that was published back in 2008 from the same author as Nisekoi. Double Arts is about a boy and a girl that is forced to join hands for all eternity. In a land savaged by an epidemic known as Troy, the only people with healing arts capable of stopping the seizures caused by the disease are the sisters. Although they have a high resistance to the disease, they are searching for a person who is truly immune, so that they can find a cure. The main character is Sister Elrain, one of the sisters who becomes infected with Troy. But when she touches Kiri, a seemingly ordinary boy, her seizures stop. Could he be the one? This is the most
Bro, that hair. Tell me you're from the 2000s, but tell me you're from the 2000s. Look at that hair, bro. Like, tell me you're an anime character while telling me you're an anime character. Like, Jesus Christ. They just said, screw it.
LOL.
They just said, screw it. Like, jeez. Man. We all made characters that looked like that when we was teenagers. We made those edgy looking characters with super crazy hair.
That hair is something.
That is something as hell. I'm not laughing. Let me put. I'm not laughing at the creator. It's just that it just harkens back of a time when I was growing up, when anime was still like, I wouldn't say at its infancy, but I mean infancy in its popularity. So when you drew anime characters that had crazy hair looking like that.
Hair.
You got better hair. The whole hair is wrapped around his head. That is wild.
Enraged video game man. Yu-Gi-Oh, for example.
Yeah, like Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, like Yu-Gi-Oh characters are crazy with their hairstyles, but damn. This one just said, screw it. Let's just hope for the best here. It just wraps around his whole head. It doesn't even... There's no beginning or end. It's just like these locks of hair just everywhere. It's just weird. Like even when Goku's hair
and try to fix them.
Yeah, it's like when you have Goku's hair, at least you have a beginning to end. There's a sense of point of direction that's going or coming out of. But this one's just going every the hell where. Jesus Christ.
Surprising manga in this list because I didn't imagine that I will like this manga so much. It's from the same author as Nisekoi, but it's completely different from it. As much as I like the premise with the whole holding hands for all eternity thing and also some of the fight scenes, what I truly enjoyed is the romance aspect of it. The author really has a talent on writing romance stories and Nisekoi is a prime example of that. But the thing that surprised me the most is the fighting style of the two main characters. Because of the fact that they need to hold hands every second of their life, they invented a fighting style that best suits their condition and it was called Double Arts. The core principle of Double Arts is dancing. And when I read that, I was mind blown because it was so brilliant and it really suits them perfectly. That concept alone is enough to put Double Arts in this list. Now that all of the older titles have been taken care of, let's now move on to the more recent manga series that got axed from Shonen Jump. Robot X Laser Beam is another sports manga from the same author as Kuroko's Basketball, but instead of basketball, this time
I feel so dumb about it even now.
Yeah, that's why that's why when I look at it, it just like it reminds me of those times like
Twin Star Exorcist they did that.
Yeah, like look at that, I was like, just reminds me of a time when I was growing up, when you drew your own favorite anime
titles
character.
Have been taken care of. Let's now move on to the more recent manga series that got axed from Shonen Jump. Robot X Laser Beam is another sports manga from the same author as Kuroko's Basketball, but instead of basketball, this time, it's about golf. When a high school boy who's been nicknamed Robot
Ryaga Samurai. Teach your muted.
Oh my god, I hate that.
Silver
So
Comet.
this is why I love
can't hear
anime.
you.
Very much so. Is because I mute myself because of the fan. This is why I love anime very much, because if I did not know this was about golf, and I was just looking at this panel alone and that's it, I would assume it's a stylized type anime, right? That's probably about, I don't know, something about fantasy or something about sci-fi, something to that extent, just based on art style alone, right? So because of that, it would be like, okay, I like the art style, and it's about golf. The anime is about golf, and it looks like this. Okay, I see what you guys doing, trying to bait me with the art style, and then I look at it, I'm like, okay, let's see what it does. Is it gonna be like very technical, like haiku, or is it gonna be like those type of animes where it's like Blue Lock, where it's like it comes off very serious and very stylized, but yet it comes off like supernatural, but it's not. I wonder that's what's gonna be. My honest reaction, yeah, but I changed the logo. Oh, I see. Oh, you changed the logo,
Comet.
the Spidey logo.
Need an anime about kickball.
Kickball. Yes, we need an anime about kickball. We need an anime about dodgeball. Is there one about dodgeball yet? I'm pretty sure there's one about dodgeball somewhere. And it has to be epic, just like Blue Lock. Imagine watching an anime about dodgeball. That would be lit.
But due to his unemotional demeanor and lack of social skills, encounters golf for the first time, his life takes a dramatic turn. Personally, I have never seen a manga about golf before until Robot X Laserbeam was published. And like most of you, I also don't have any knowledge about golf. I don't know the rules, the equipment used, or anything related to it. The only thing that I know from watching some TV series is that it's a gentleman's sport, something middle-aged men do for a hobby.
Gold anime when? I'm pretty sure there is
Remember
one.
Ahsoka dodgeball. Okay. You got me. You got me there with Ahsoka and the dodgeball thing. Okay, I got you. I got you on that one.
I mean,
oh
I
man.
think I saw a recommendation on TikTok once long time ago.
You gotta send to me so we like. Tell me what the if you can find the anime, I'll do a reaction.
But when I read Robot X Laserbeam, I legit learned a lot about golf, and it was exciting actually. Coupled with a great art style and his past experience with writing Kuroko's Basketball, the author managed to hook me in with a sport that I don't know nothing about. So, check out Robot X Laserbeam. This next one is another battle manga that is so amazing I can think of any idea how it was cancelled. Black Torch is about Jiro Azuma, a descendant of a shinobi who has been learning ninja techniques his entire life. But in addition to that, he also has the ability to talk to animals. One day when he rescues a strange cat named Brago, he learns that the world is filled with spirits called Mononoke that can take the form of both people and...
I get it. I understand. I know some people prefer me pick more like American sounding voices. But like you gotta put it in perspective. Not everyone's gonna be like it's gonna have like the most immaculate voice. But I don't want to discriminate because I found some cool animes based on people who don't really speak a whole lot of English. So like, or they're not really good at English that much. They recommend a very stylized anime.
Says what size iPad is that?
I don't see why not. So like I would always like give them a chance at least because they may not be your cup of tea based on how they sound, but they may give you a cup of tea of what you want based on what anime you're looking for, based on style or just premise alone. So like that's something you should always look for. That's why I give them at least a chance.
Video game man. I'm not hating on him.
Oh no! I know. It's just I know. Sometimes I laugh. Sometimes it's because like the accent can be a little bit. It can daunt a little bit. It'd be daunting.
Animals. However, their meeting is cut short when they are attacked by a hostile Mononoke who is after Rago's power. First off, the art style is fucking good. Like, look at these random manga panels. Every panel looks like a money shot because of how amazing, gorgeous, and detailed they are. This is easily one of the most good-looking manga that I've read for a long time, and because of how good the art style is, they elevate the fight scenes into another level. This can easily compete with the greats in terms of art style and overall fluidity of the fight scenes, but I guess in terms of the story, it's still far behind. But that doesn't mean that the story is not good, because it is. There's just nothing unique with the story, I guess, that's why it got cancelled. But overall, still a fantastic...
Oh, so let me guess, the premise is not that great, but the fight scenes and the art style is? Still has a generic story, but the art style and just the overall like world looks cool. Is that what got axed? That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like it got axed for that very reason. It just didn't have like a premise that was just so different. It was just enough for it to look cool. That's probably what killed it.
So you should check out Black Torch.
Actually, sometimes that's not even the case. It doesn't even matter what the concept is or even the art style. If it looks really polished and really good, sometimes it just doesn't make it. So sometimes it just doesn't have that so-called it factor that they're looking for, that, you know, they just don't want to mess with. It's a very weird situation.
Next up is Neolation. The story is about this genius hacker named Arata1 or Neo who solves problems from loan sharks' absurd contracts to mobile apps that can induce suicidal tendencies to a person just by using his computer and hacking skills. Honestly, hacking is a pretty common concept with sci-fi stories like this, so there's nothing new to it really. But the charm of this manga is its scope, because unlike sci-fi stories that deals with global threats with massive consequences that can affect the whole world, I'm talking about you, Bloody Monday, Neolation dialed it down a little bit and focused on one city, which is actually a breath of fresh air. But I think the limited scope is also what caused Neolation to be cancelled, because there's no real big threat, so the story quickly became stale and boring. But it's still a good read, so check it out. This next one is about ninja. No, not that ninja. The other ninja.
Let's see here.
That's the one. It's no question that Naruto popularized the concept of ninjas and launched it to the spotlight, and any anime who has even the tiniest bit of ninja concept in them is instantly compared to Naruto. Maybe that's the reason why we haven't seen another ninja anime that really took off. I actually have high hopes that Tokyo Shinobi Squad is finally the one who will break this curse, but it was sadly cancelled earlier than I expected. The story is set in Tokyo 2049. Thanks to the Galapagos reform enacted by the government, Russia, China, America, and Japan are now connected by a hyperloop system. The globalization has turned Tokyo into the most crime-ridden city in the world. To fight the rising crime, those who have been working in the shadows since the Sengoku period are needed. They are the shinobi.
That's gonna cause mad trouble. Like, if it's a giant connecting tube to, like, Russia, China, America, and all the other countries, that's... Wouldn't that cause mass problems? Like, it would be great, like, I guess the best transportation, but wouldn't that cause, like, mad problems if they have, like, differences in customs and stuff? And then what if someone makes, like, does, like, something... like globally like evil with all those people on that tube, if there's people in the tube, but like that's crazy.
This is ninjas in the modern world fighting crimes with ninpo techniques done right. Boruto should take notes with this manga because it's so good. There are no big explosions and world-ending attacks either, like in the later parts of Naruto Shippuden, which is a fresh sight in my eyes. This feels like early days Naruto when the story is still about ninjas and not aliens and white zombies. It shouldn't have been cancelled that early because it has so much potential. What a waste. Before we move on to the next one, I have a question for you guys. Would you believe me that there is an ancient civilization in the past that is more advanced than we are today? Would you believe if I say that today isn't 2021? That 100,000 years has already passed and that ancient civilization was wiped out by an unknown reason, and the second round of humanity which is us, will be wiped out just like that ancient civilization was? This is Noah's Notes. If we're talking concepts alone, Noah's Notes is already up there.
So like, what is it? Is the premise about Noah's Ark? Is it like a Bible thing, but anime? But they're gonna take concepts from the Bible, but not talk about the Bible. Kind of like Blue Exorcist to a certain extent.
To know the past is to know the future. This is the central concept of this manga. By collecting these so-called notes that the ancient civilization left after its destruction, archaeologist Noah Minami Umberbach's goal is to pin down the cause of that past destruction and stop history from repeating itself. If that didn't sold you on the series, then maybe this one is not for you. This last one is the most recent manga on this list from Shonen Jump that got cancelled, and like Noah's Notes, this is easily one of the most unique concepts that I've read for a long time. Time Paradox Ghostwriter is about a passionate rookie manga artist named Teppei Sasaki who dreams of getting a series in weekly Shonen Jump. One day, he gets a copy of Jump from 10 years in the future. Is it all a coincidence, or is it fate? Whatever the case, destiny is about to change.
Wait, what? So wait, let me get this straight. The concept is a dude who wants to be a manga artist, or at least a manga creator, who wants to submit his work into Shonen Jump. One day he gets a copy of a manga book from 10 years in the future? Some random
Silver
book?
Comet. Now that is random.
That is random as hell.
Definitely an anime.
What the hell? That sounds interesting. I would kind of want to know what happens now.
Silver Comet. Manga.
That's like if someone took... It's like someone who wants to be like a coder, right? Or wants to set their own tech company, right? And then they get like a random piece of software, right? From the future, 10 or 20 years in the future. It drops right to them. And it's like...
I'm going to sleep now. Bye everyone, have a great day.
Alright, later Mono.
Ryaga Samurai.
Thank you, bro.
I heard of this one.
You heard of this one? This is weird. It's like someone dropped like a goober with like Facebook's source code or something into it, and then send someone as Mark Zuckerberg's like 10 years in the future. Like it's 10 years or 20 years before like Facebook becomes then there's like the source code is in it and that person has it and they you know what I'm saying? Like I don't even think that stuff will work because like given that that's some far in the future and stuff is not ready yet, but hey, that's crazy.
Time
Silver Comet.
Destiny.
A manga artist makes a manga about another manga artist who wants to be a mangaka. Then your future mangaka self sends you the cheat sheet. Ryaga Samurai. Is it Time Paradox Ghostwriter?
Yeah, it's like
Silver
Time
Comet.
Paradox Ghostwriter.
Night.
That's what it sounds like to me. Yeah.
Is intersected
Alright,
for a
see you,
tomorrow
slime.
that was
Gotta
never
see you later,
meant
bye.
to be.
Okay, later, kid.
The future of Jump
Marvel
is
Spider-Man.
here.
That's
You
your
know,
favorite game.
I'm what they call a picky reader. If I don't like the concept or the drawing or the character interactions, I'll immediately drop a manga 100%. I just can't be bothered by manga that don't interest me. I'm always looking for that new experience, if you know what I mean, and Time Paradox Ghostwriter gave me that new feel.
Ryaga
It's
Samurai.
fresh, it's gripping,
Yep, I knew it.
it's a taste that I've never tasted before. Reading the first chapter gave me a roller coaster of emotions. In one bit, I was sad because of failures after failures of work that the main character has to endure. Then I was hopeful because of his never give up personality. And then I was devastated because after all the hardships that he lived through, he still hasn't reached the dream that he wants to pursue. And then together with him, I was hopeless because nothing goes right. And then I was shocked, and then confused, and then amazed, hyped, hopeful again, and in the end, I was dumbfounded of how amazing that first chapter is. All I can say is give that first chapter a go and come back here and tell me if what I just described to you is wrong or not. And those are the 10 best cancelled manga from Shonen Jump. If you haven't noticed yet, this is a recommendation video, so please check out all the manga that
You know what Shonen Jump should do is take most of their most of their canceled manga from like the last 5 years and make a contest and see how many people will pick these mangas, and they'll do like a contest, right? A contest of the best 30, and then it drops from 30 to like 15 or 15 to like 5, and then their last remaining 3 are going to be the top mangas that they're going to like bring back from the dead. That would be something cool. So like it gives hope for people who's been canceled or like has their projects canceled to be revived once again from the dead. That would be kind of cool, right? I think that'd be something a lot of fans would love. They might bring back the show or the anime that the manga that they want the most.
Ryaga Samurai.
That would be cool.
Manga Gulag Challenge, basically.
Yeah, a whole manga gulag. That would be awesome. Like take your top 30 most popular canceled mangas in the last 3 to 5 years, and then see if we should revive them or not. That will bring more hype to most people, and it will actually what that will entail will bring more artists to the forefront to do more art and give them the chance of never giving up, because that's what mostly what shonen is never giving up and losing, right? So like it's always like adversity, right? So like that would be awesome, right? And for the manga to be picked, it has to be a certain amount of, I guess, recognition it has for it to be qualified, right? And then, or plus, they can't take anything with anything that was connected to like a law problem, like that dude who did those things to those teenage girls. They're already disqualified. It's only people who's like they put out their stuff. Shonen Jump gave a chance, and it got canceled after like 1 or 2 chapters or a few chapters, and that's it. And then what they should do with those 1 or 2 chapters is be like, okay, we'll bring back the show, we bring back the manga, but like we're only gonna put it in a specific like battle royale amongst all of them, so like, it brings interest to your readers, and then see which one that they put that could have been the next big thing, right? That's something that they could do. You know what I'm saying? I don't think fans will be mad at that. I think they'll be very hyped. It will give even more reason to like keep mangakas like in business, or at least keep those who are trying to get there, give them a sense of hope. There's not like death, like there's no real death. It's just a time that wasn't ready for you. I think that makes total sense, right? That is the corner. Does Grace come later in the game? I don't know. Dude, play the game. Just play the game. I don't asking me is not gonna get there faster. Just play the game.
That was featured in this video, because even though they got cancelled, they are still good mangas. And that's it for me for now. I'm the villain in glasses,
Silver Comet.
And enjoy reading.
Yes, it does.
Bye.
I think that's kind of cool, to be honest. That sounds kind of cool. So with that said, I think we did a great job today. I didn't get to do much with the iPad's that. It's not iPad.
Silver Comet. Hold on, my hero host.
So with that said, like, share, follow, comment. This was a great reaction video. I think I should do more reaction videos like
this. Next one is
just another hero.
Just another hero. I think we did a pretty good job with most of these reactions today. It's already 7 o'clock, and I don't think anyone's in the mood to watch me play Zenless Zone Zero today. We can always play tomorrow. I don't think anyone's in the mood for that. I think people had more fun watching me do the reactions of the anime stuff today. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let you guys go early. What's today? Thursday?
Silver Comet.
Tuesday. And YouTube. So if you want to be a student, I'm gonna put in the bios for most of the perks. But if you want to become a student, you can. I think some of you probably recognize some new features that's been there on YouTube. So if you want, I'm gonna put a official announcement on Discord so you guys have an idea what's going on. So if you want to hear about the announcement or read about it, I'll have myself or my mods put it in there that we're finally reached our live stream goals. Now our next goal is to get the ad revenue goal, monetization, which won't take long. I think that might take about a month, probably less. But yeah, so if you guys want to be a member, a YouTube member, Not just a subscriber, a member. Subscribe and follow now and become a member if you want to see if it's something for you, if you want to support the stream. I'm going to keep bringing this up a lot throughout stream now since we got this. I'm very proud of my team. We did our great job to get to this point, so let's hope we get more higher up in there. Can we get much higher? So high. Ah. So with that said, have a great night, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Keep safe, keep practicing, keep drawing out there, and like great stuff, and we'll keep on going with our skin study. There you guys. Bye-bye. Boop, 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 boop.